enough. Get out of the way! Dante Torres! The end zone. Touchdown. 10-5 touchdown.
Football is back in Section 8, and the expectations are palpable, as is the buzz. From the 309, we've got one of the best rivalries on Long Island. When the Sailors and Chiefs get together, you never know what to expect. It's anybody's game as we get ready for the 2024 season here at Oceanside High School, as the Massapequa Chiefs take on the Oceanside Sailors on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Today's game is brought to you by Speed Island. And we welcome you into the broadcast booth. He's the coach, Kevin Dolan. I'm John Perez. Kevin, it's week 0. No better time of the year, specifically when you got one of the best rivalries with Massapequa and Oceanside.
What an opportunity for Section 8 football to kick this season off, with primetime football, especially these two teams. And this school is electric right now. Packed house. You could feel the energy in the bleachers.
Yeah, you could definitely feel it on both sides as well. Specifically for Massapequa, they come in as the defending Long Island champions. They've got a ton of talent. They lost a lot from a year ago, but two of our impact players that we're going to feature today is their great two-way player in Tyler Villalta and Billy Scruba.
Yeah, you know, two returning players, big boys. And I think the thing that we have to remember, all these kids know is winning. You know, 12-0 last year, played a big part in that run last year to the championship.
Yeah, you look at the numbers on Villalta, third in Nassau County in both public and private schools in rushing yards, and Billy Scruba now playing on both sides of the ball. He'll be a tight end and linebacker, primarily on defense last year for the Chiefs. Well, Oceanside, they were really banged up last year, had a young team. It's not to say that Rob Blount and company were punting on last season and getting ready for this one, but he couldn't wait for this new season, and he returns a deep core, specifically Dylan Cervetta and Dylan Cacarecco.
Well, you know, it's a big night for these two kids. You know, we need Cacarecco and his boys to really protect this quarterback and get Cervetta and his crew wide open. One thing you can always count on with a Coach Blount team is going to be a lot of big plays. He's a really creative coach.
And we'll dip into the wide receivers as well. They're very deep. It's the Sailors, it's the Chiefs, it's week 0, and it's all coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Since 1982, J. Paul's Terrace Cafe has proudly served the Oceanside community for 42 years. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., catch live music on the weekends, or place a bet on their OTB betting machines to wager on all horse races. And we didn't even get to the menu. Every dish is a touchdown. From the popular steak tidbits to wings and a chicken parm, you can't go wrong. Great for lunch with friends and dinner with the family. Located at 239 Merrick Road, just minutes away from the Meadowbrook Parkway. Reserve your table today at 516-536-1806.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or
Honestly, I think it's a tale of two cities. I think from Massapequa's standpoint, they need to control the ball. It's a mindset over in that town of hard-nosed football, controlling the clock, and of course, field position. From Oceanside standpoint, this is a high-flying group, and they're going to be, I think they're going to be zipping this ball all over the lot. And I expect to see some big plays out of the Sailors. At the end of the day, John, it always comes back to special teams, and it always comes back to field position, and that's really going to be critical. And that's where week 0 gets very, very dicey.
Yeah, this was originally supposed to be a week 5 game, and with the Yom Kippur holiday, all those games were going to be played on Wednesday. So both coaches agreed that they didn't want to play on a short week, specifically after playing either the Friday or Saturday before, and said, hey, week 0 is open for both of us, and let's get it on as well as we get the opening coin toss. Referee today is Paul First. Dominic Giuliano's the umpire. Joe Randazzo is the head linesman. Line judge is Chris Atchison, and the back judge, Mike Romano, and Patrick Wren is keeping the time. And Massapequa winning the toss, but deferring, and Oceanside will take it off. And now that I've got a coach in the booth, do you tell your captains tails never fails? What's the game plan going on there?
You know, the less you get involved in, whether you're a parent or a head football coach, usually the better off you are. You know, send them out and let them do their thing.
But I'm sure there was a message from either Blount or Shippos. Hey, if we win.
Oh, you better believe it. Absolutely.
I was always a tails never fails guy, for the record.
And I think it was a great choice by Massapequa. You know, I mean, all we can assume is that both teams are going to be on their game. Having that possession in the second half of Massapequa is a real great move for them.
And there are the defending champions, 12-0 a year ago, beating Syosset in the Nassau County Final in Conference 1 and then knocking off Floyd. They won 8 games a year earlier before falling to Farmingdale. And, you know, that game was more like a title bout last year we had on the Varsity Media Sports Network, where Massapequa won in overtime, 15-14, a 2-point conversion towards the end of overtime. That was Mike Spina's call, and Kevin Shippos giving a lot of credit to him, and a big-time atmosphere for Massapequa. They're not afraid to play on the road. Meanwhile, for Oceanside, I'm curious, what are some of the emotions that are going for the home team? This should be a friendly environment, but with the buzz, I can imagine there's got to be some butterflies.
It's the excitement. It's the excitement of starting a season with a primetime game like this in front of a huge crowd, an electric crowd. And I think these guys are going to give us I think both of these teams are going to give us one really great show.
The nation versus everybody. They're ready to go. And meanwhile, on the other side for Massapequa, they're calling it a whiteout after taking the 20-minute drive over and looking to take the road victory. It was Massapequa ending Oceanside season last year, early in the playoffs in the semifinal, winning 42-0 over at Hofstra, and these two are hoping to meet at Hofstra again. In fact, Massapequa's won 5 of the last 6 against Oceanside.
Well, John, here's the first biggest play of the game coming up, right? Kickoff.
And it'll be Chris Bichetta to knock it away, with Chase Morris back to receive with Jacob Stern. Massapequa, Oceanside, week 0. Let's get it on. And from a knee, return back. And a pile of Chiefs come over after the 10-yard gain and the pickup
Great
by
way
Jaden Balone.
Great way to start this game for Massapequa. A lot of great gang tackling right there. Kids seem to be, they're no strangers to this kind of pressure.
Someone who's not a stranger to pressure either is Luke Villela, the starting quarterback for Oceanside. He was a natural wide receiver last year, but was thrown into the starting lineup when Shane Harmon was injured, and he played the rest of the way. And there you see his numbers there, and looking to add a different dimension as a signal caller for the Sailors. One programming note for those of you watching at home, we're keeping the time in-house over here as the first play into the flat is caught by Chase Morris. And a quick pickup of a couple, and Villela hits his first of the evening.
Beautiful open field tackle by Kenny Jean. Boy, that Kenny Jean, he is a quick, sure, experienced football player. Very instinctive.
We'll see a lot of throwing. They return everybody back on the offensive line. The receivers Morris, Tavetter, Beer, and Stern as it's thrown into the flat. Caught on the near side by Kyle Schur. And Schur is gobbled up. Cole Villalta, the first man in there, and then Massapequa rallies over, and that was a stifling defense last year. In fact, the most points that any team scored against Massapequa last year was 14 points. They graduate 30 players from a year ago as Kevin Shippo sends out this defense. We'll meet them in a second, and Villela on 3rd and 5. Tuck and run, Villela chugs forward and goes into a swath of Chiefs, and only a pickup of 1.
It's interesting what Coach Blount is trying to do here. He's trying to test the edges. You know, the hardest thing to do in football, John, is open field tackle. And he's testing these kids out here in the open and see what Massapequa was going to bring, and they've answered the bell in this first series.
And there was the defense. A.J. Malenko, a returner, Tristan Tarasi, Alex Chalemi, Scruba, Villalta, Gene Pedalino, Romano, and Cole Villalta. And now the special teams out, and Oceanside. After a quick 3-and-out, Ryan Pender to boot it away. Massapequa has Frank Romano back there with Tyler Villalta. Short punt. Makes a Massapequa bounce. And so doesn't get across midfield, and good prime position, field position for the Chiefs.
And this is what I was talking about earlier, John. Field position, special teams and field position. As a coach, I think you don't want to play around with it too much. At the same time, you rely on it. You know, helps you control the clock.
Well, one thing that we were talking about off the air, and you were mentioning it in the open, this new personnel for Massapequa, time needs to be their friend in this game and controlling the running game, and those two go hand in hand. When you've got a good quarterback like Joey Dimes, you're in good hands with either decision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Joey Dimes. Now, there's a name you got to love.
Massapequa starts off at Oceanside's 44. Play action. DSO back to pass. Airs it out. And overshoots his receiver in Cole Villalta.
Well, it was interesting. Massapequa coming out with a big play. Play action pass off the jet sweep. See if we can get those defenders at Oceanside to come down and support the run, sneak somebody behind. I think we'll see that play again later on, John.
As the rest of the Chiefs' offense. You mentioned Villalta, Frank Romano, Cole Villalta, his younger brother, Kenny Jean, Billy Scruba, Connor Pineda, Thomas Biggin, Van Schuyler, Tristan Tarasi, and A.J. Malenko round out the offensive line for Kevin Shippos. Now in his 14th season. 2nd and 10 from the 44. The handoff. Andrew Pedalino chugs ahead, and Pedalino with a big run. He's got enough to move the chains.
Andrew Pedalino takes the carry for a Chiefs first down.
Huge block by Frank Romano right there. You know, these receivers, they don't know what's going on behind them, and he stayed on that block long time, and that they got an extra 5 yards because of him.
Let's take another look, and you mentioned the block up front. And, yeah, that's Frank Romano, number 5 you mentioned. Good
Great
call,
job.
Coach. First and 10 from the 33 for Massapequa. Andrew Pedalino was the starting running back on JV last year. But here's Villalta. Tries to cut it up the middle and is knocked down. Brady Nardone, who had only 10 tackles a year ago, with his first TFL of the evening. Let's meet the rest of the Sailors defense. Kakareko, 19 career varsity starts on the offensive line. Now he's playing both ways. Lucas Grimaldi, Bender, Pariza, Nardone, Dato, Villela, Beer, Haffey, and Tveter. So loss of 2, 2nd and 12. 8:40 and rolling, opening quarter. Pedalino, second opportunity, bounces off a few defenders, but nowhere to go. Back to the line of scrimmage as Dylan Bender takes him down.
Well, the Oceanside defense sure has found themselves in the last 2 plays. I mean, you look at that play over again, you're going to see 6, 7 guys hustling to the ball, gang tackling. And you're going to need that. They've got some great running backs at Massapequa, and Oceanside's bringing it on.
Make some noise. It's third down.
Third and long for Massapequa. Man in motion is Kenny Jean. Diesso rolls out, sees the pressure coming, then flings it, has a man, and underthrows his target, Andrew Pedalino.
Chased down by Nardone.
Good job by Nardone to get to the backfield and cause pressure on Diesso.
And what a job by Joey Diesso keeping that play alive. You know, we had great coverage by Oceanside. They were bringing pressure. He wasn't going to let that ball die in his hands.
So just like Oceanside on their first drive, a 3 and out for Massapequa.
Very interesting spot for a punt here.
Yeah, punting from the 35-yard line, Chris Bachetta. Short punt. And takes a Massapequa bounce, and what a bounce at that. Down at the 1-yard line.
What a beautiful job by him. Outstanding punt, outstanding coverage.
These two teams getting to know each other over their last 5 meetings, and there you see one-sided affairs in 2023. Massapequa mercying them in the playoffs, and Oceanside looking for their first victory over Massapequa since October 2022. Like we mentioned, you know, some of those games, see the 21-16 results.
Yep.
You know, it's a game of inches.
Oh, yeah. You know, what we're seeing right now is we're seeing a bunch of kids playing at a high level right now, but they're also getting out some of the bugs. You know, they're getting out some of those nerves. Those first 2 series were very important for both teams.
So Oceanside starts their drive off at their own 2-yard line, 7:41 to go in the opening quarter. So that's Kyle Schur in the backfield, the Wildcat. Bouncing over, Schur's got some space as he chugs ahead. Past the 20, still on his feet and dragged down by the Oceanside bench. Huge run for Kyle Schur. And a little trickery early on by Rob Blount.
That's good for an Oceanside first down.
Oh, what a block over there on the edge by Oceanside by their tight end. You know what? Great engagement, keeps his feet moving. No holding call, outstanding.
28-yard pickup for Oceanside. Or 20, check that, 25-yard pickup. I was never a arithmetic major, and I'll never be confused for one. And now Villela out of the gun. He tucks and carries ahead, brought down. A.J. Malenko with his first tackle of the evening. Second year on the varsity squad for Malenko, 6'4", 270 of pure muscle.
We got some big boys out there, and that was Nolan Wieserak. His brother was one of the stars from the team last year. Obviously, there's some really good football genetics right there.
Yeah, and, you know, it's funny when you think of Massapequa, especially over the last couple of years, common last names, Wieserak, Burns, just goes on, and you'll see it at some of these schools, a legacy for a lot of these brothers and sisters that are playing different sports. 2nd and 8 from the 29. Shane Harmon now back in, airs it out, comes near side. He's got Scher, can't make the catch. He was out of bounds anyway. Good coverage. That'll bring up 3rd down. That's one of the benefits of having 2 quarterbacks that are ready to go. You can plug them in and out, and a good ball from Harmon, just out of bounds.
Heck of a move by Kyle Scher. They were playing him from depth, and he's able, the great receivers and running backs, they have 2 speeds. So the really good ones have 3 speeds. That's the way to use that and get himself open.
Third down and 8, 6:35 to go in the opening quarter. Man in motion is Bender. Villela snaps it. He's got Bender, who makes the catch and gets past the 1st down, up to the 40, a pickup of 11. Dylan Bender, called the most reliable receiver in the offseason, and makes do on his first catch attempt.
Once again, Oceanside keeps hitting that perimeter. They keep testing these guys out there on the edge. And you can understand it with some of that beef that Massapequa has in there.
They spot him at the 39. Under 6 minutes and rolling. Villela, he rolls out himself, has some space, flings it near side, incomplete. Tried to hook up with Scher again, but those two not able to get in sync.
Beautiful play. Once again, it's kind of like that jet pass sweep. These are plays that we're going to see again in critical moments in late third and fourth quarter.
And so Rob Blount, especially with the depth that he has, can sub players in and out. You see Andrew Dato coming out. Going on is Chase Beer. Second down and 10. Play action. Villela tucks, gets past one defender, but eventually brought down. Good gang tackle up front. Alex Chalemi had the first contact.
Beautiful tackle by Alex. Again, you play defensive end, you're out there alone, man. And against an operator like this quarterback, he just did an outstanding job. On Alex Chalemi, I don't know if you know, he was brought up as a 10th grader as their kicker 2 years ago. Did a great job and wanted to be more of a field player and get involved in that. And here he is, starting in the biggest game of the year.
Yeah, wearing number 2 in white, and then you see him on the near side of the defensive line. 5:05 in the first quarter, and timeout called by Oceanside. Rob Blount will talk it over with his team. And so far, your thoughts on, we'll get your thoughts in a second. We'll take a quick break here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
How's it going? Israel Bonnie Kunda, running back for the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
5:05 to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless. Massapequa and Oceanside. He's Kevin Dolan. I'm John Perez. And seen some good passing by Oceanside early on. Trying to get into a rhythm. They've got 2 quarterbacks that can do so. Your thoughts on Oceanside's offense in the first quarter?
It's interesting. I think they need to stick with this game plan. I mean, they've had some receivers open deep, and they're just working on making that connection. They're testing the edge. I think they know that there's something out there that's going to be gold, and they're sticking with that game plan, and I think they should. Right now, John, everybody's working out the bugs. The kids, the coaches are working out the bugs, the coordinators.
We're working out the bugs, too.
Yes, we are.
Especially our score bug, as On 3rd and 8, Villela snaps it over the middle. He's got a man, and the catch is Kyle Schur still on his feet. Schur to the 30, to the 25, and brought down by Cole Villalta.
That's good for a Sailor, first down.
And a huge pickup Oceanside for the first time this evening in Massapequa territory.
I'll tell you what, you know, a heck of a job by Oceanside. They snuck Jacob Stern out of the backfield, and that caused Tyler Villalta. He did a great job of picking him up, but they took their eyes off old number 7 and paid the price for it.
33-yard pickup for Oceanside.
The Sailors from the 24-yard line of Massapequa.
Well, let's take another look. Well, we'll check it next time, but
Sure.
Villela and a false start. This is a veteran offensive line, but at the end of the day, still their first game, and like you said, trying to get the jitters out.
Yeah, and you know what? You take a penalty here and there, that's fine, but you know it's going to happen. But that's what they need to be ready to avoid. You know, you got to learn from that. You got to move on.
Imagine as a coach, it makes you red in the face, right?
Oh yes, oh yeah. Especially since this drive started on the 2.
Right. Chase Beer goes in motion. Villela, straight run, and stacked up. And then Massapequa defense rallying over to Villela. And takes the loss.
Oceanside probing. You know, again, hitting the perimeter, but this time they're running into the boundary. They're looking for, they feel they've got a crack or a seam out there. This is why we saw that bootleg wide open, because they're starting to get Massapequa running left and right. When you boot out, you've got your best receivers running opposite that play direction. That's where kids start shaking themselves open.
So for Rob Blount, you want to get on the board, obviously, and you want to try and get in field goal range, to say the least. Got a good kicker in Ryan Pender. Career high at 41. We're not there yet. On 2nd down, Villela gets past the blitz, then dumps it over. Andrew Dato hauls it in inside the 20. And close to the first down marker.
There you go, John. Not that I had any inside knowledge of that play, but there's those bootlegs. You know, he's playing that wide running game and then countering back with the bootleg pass.
Andrew Dato last year, only 3 catches for 97 yards. He was primarily used out of the backfield, but called up as a sophomore. And now going to be an integral part to this Oceanside offense.
In fairness to Massapequa, very tough to defend. Very tough to defend that combination of plays.
2:10 and rolling, opening quarter. We're scoreless, Massapequa and Oceanside. Jacob Stern at the bottom of his screen. Villela calls his own number. Sweeps it far side, and Villela taken down near the 5.
I'd like to talk about one lineman, but you got to talk about all 5. That's zone blocking. You see on this, if we get a replay here, oh, here we go. We got the next play coming up.
Already a 2-minute offense for Oceanside. Villela, back-to-back keepers, but Massapequa sniffs it out. Alex Chilemi with a takedown.
Villela on the keeper again for a short gain.
No big personnel changes for Massapequa. They like what they've got on this goal line look.
Antonio Contrino comes on for Oceanside. Contrino, a 2-way player, as well, and a whistle and a timeout called. Second charged to Oceanside with 1:20 to go in a scoreless first quarter. And when you've got a pass-heavy team like Oceanside, how do you find a balance? Especially they got some running backs that are banged up early on, but I'd have to imagine you got to balance a good passing attack with with your halfback personnel.
You do. You really do. You need to, otherwise, if you've got everybody on defense stepping back, now you're relying on a four-man rush, and that's a hard way to go to bed at night as a coach, knowing that you have that. So, again, I think that's why we're seeing these bootleg passes. Coach Blount's offense run thoughts tonight is hit the edges, whether it's the quarterback, whether it's the running back. They're hitting those edges hard, and then they're bouncing back with those bootlegs, splitting that defense, and he's getting some people open. His problem down here, this is a very, field gets very short down here, and it's not as easy to run these bootlegs.
Well, and on the flip side for Massapequa, what do you want to see out of them defensively?
Well, that's another problem down here. You're probably going to see some man-to-man coverage. But against the run game, it's hard to defend the run when your first step is backwards. All right, here's this tight formation. We saw an outside run by the quarterback last time.
That time the handoff, Chase Morris still on his feet to the end zone, touchdown. And Oceanside opens it up. Chase Morris, his first TD of the season, 6-0 Oceanside.
Great drive, 98 yards. Not really a lot of big plays. Some short passing, some bootlegs, some edge running. Very, very patient by Coach Blount.
Take a look at the offensive line, too, for Morris.
Yeah, you know what? Look, those guys are sticky. They're getting really on there. That was some block by Tristan Tarasi. All right, John, here's the big points. You get close games, big games like this. Back to our special teams conversation from earlier.
Well, there's a good guy to have back there. Ryan Pender last year, 24 for 29.
End zone, touchdown, 10-5 touchdown.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Get one back against the Sailors.
John, no big pressure on Massapequa right now, but, Coach Shippos is saying to himself, we need to respond. We need to respond. We need to get a drive going here. Got to get ourselves on the board, whether that's 7 or whether that's 3. It doesn't really matter, but they got to respond.
Andrew Pedalino and Tyler Villalta back to receive. And Pender after sweeping in the extra point. Shorter kick this time. And caught at the 35-yard line. And about a 3-yard return by Luke Gargiulo, the sophomore.
Looks easy, but that's a huge play by Luke Gargiulo. Huge play. He's ready for it. Starts his team out on the 40-yard line. Heck of a job by Luke.
Not bad field position either.
That's what I'm saying. This is great field position.
So after a 3-and-out, Joey Diesso and the rest of the crew for Massapequa. .109 to play in the opening quarter. 7-0 Oceanside, and Frank Romano matched up with Chase Haffey, bottom of your screen. That should be a fun matchup tonight. They fake to Pedalino, up the middle's Diesso, and Diesso picks up about 3. So we'll see if we get one more play going into the second quarter. 50 seconds and rolling.
Nice job by Massapequa. A little bit of an inside-outside game. They've been showing Oceanside that jet sweep. Now they pull the jet sweep and take it up the midline. They're probing.
Joey DeSo, 27 touchdowns. He threw for over 1,400 yards last year, but tucks and runs. And then another 3-yard pickup. Michael Lucas, the first contact for Oceanside.
Interesting play by Massapequa. It's called quick draw, and as they put Villalta in motion, our quarterback here is looking to see if they make any adjustments. If they do, throws it. If they don't, runs it right up the midline.
Well, those adjustments will come in the second quarter, and what a fun first quarter it was. One quarter in the books, 7-0 Oceanside. Second quarter coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Massapequa 7-0 here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Chase Morris, a 5-yard TD run to give the Sailors the lead and the only score of the evening. Joey DeSo on 3rd down and 3, and a whistle and some movement up front, and this will go against the Sailors.
You know, the probing's over now, John. Now it's time to get to business, and you know, Massapequa knows that was a huge play right there. Whether the ball was snapped or not, it didn't matter. They needed that first down. They did not want to punt in this situation. Very smart, very good discipline by the whole Massapequa offense.
So moves him into Sailors territory. First down and 10 from the 48. Play action, DeSo flushed out. Pressure coming, DeSo still rolling on his feet, buries ahead, and DeSo gets almost halfway home.
You gotta love this kid. He keeps the plays alive. I mean, he got skunked out on this near sideline to us, and then he just makes it happen, and that's what the great quarterbacks do.
Yeah, that pressure coming from Dylan Bender, and then eventually slips past Luke Villela before Bender brings him down.
Saw Mahomes do that last night.
Does a lot of things well.
Yeah.
Well, if that finish last night is if we get a finish like that tonight, it's going to be a fun season.
It'll take us 2 hours to get out of this place if that happens.
That's true. 2nd and 7. DeSo keeps it again, and a flag during the tackle. As DeSo gains 3, and he can tack on some extra yards.
You know, these calls from the umpire are typically holding, but there was a big pile up there. This could go either way.
Dominic Giuliano, the umpire today, as Paul First comes out. And a face mask. It's going to help the Chiefs' cause.
That's a big one, John. That one's a half changer. You know, John, right now, Massapequa kids, you know, it was a long drive by Oceanside, beautiful offensive drive, gave up 7 points. They're getting their confidence back. Penalty like that really adds to it.
Yeah, 2 Oceanside penalties on this drive. 10:43 to go, second quarter. This time they give to Villalta. Shakes right, still on his feet. And down near the first down marker. After the gain of 9, Dylan Bender with the tackle. And then Bender a little shaken up as he came together and colliding with a Massapequa lineman.
This is stuff as a coach that you hate. You know, it's, you know, the rumor out there is we're supposed to be teachers. We're there for the kids. Everybody wants to win. But, you know, when the injuries happen, you just feel terrible. You know, you look at these two boys, they've been training since Christmas, getting ready for this game. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope it's just a nick. And then we see them a few plays from now.
And Dylan Bender on the right, A.J. Malenko on the left. And Malenko, I think we mentioned, two-year player, two-sport athlete as well, power forward for the basketball team. And Dylan Bender, of course, a two-way player as well. And Mike Vanucci, who is on the staff and particularly trains the wide receivers, says he's Mr. Reliable for his squad.
Got to love those multi-sport athletes. You know, they can do a lot of things. It's one thing to spend a lot of time in the weight room and working with the football team, but I've always told our kids who are two-way athletes who are feeling bad about not working out in the off-season with us, I'm like, when you're competing, you're helping our football team.
Yeah, for Bender, a two-sport athlete as well. He's going to play lacrosse at St. John's, so not going too far. Well, while we have a break in the action, let's tell you what we have on the slate. Starting tomorrow, good Catholic League matchup. St. John the Baptist heads over to Holy Trinity, and then St. Anthony's heads all the way up to Rochester. Saturday night, under the lights against UPrep. Next week, we got some football in there as well, or
big
the
games.
natural game. Battle of the Bridge comes over, as well as Hills West taking on West Hampton. It'll be fun to see Joe Filardi in full effect. We'll have Massapequa Soccer on the 17th, and then a volleyball matchup, Manhasset, Belmore, JFK. Check it all out on Varsity Media's YouTube channel. Tyler Villalta inside the 10 after the stoppage and a first down for the Chiefs.
Boy, Tyler's starting to get turned on right now. His engine is rolling. That's, you know, and John, that's what we were talking about before. You know, for Massapequa, they can control this clock. They can win this game. You know, I still believe that for Oceanside, their minds are set on some big plays.
Well, Oceanside will need some big plays. First and goal from the 9. 9:45 to go in the first half. Anthony Danello goes in motion as DSO carves his way up the middle.
DSO on the keeper for the Chiefs.
Gain of 4.
Now that was some read by DSO. Bender comes flying in there. He sees he's playing run. He takes out Villalta. Great pull, great read. Here we are on the 6-yard line, 5-yard line.
And we see, like you said, clock being a friend for Massapequa and taking their time as well. Remember, they deferred. We're not there yet, but did defer on the opening coin toss. Joey DSO thrown into the fire last year. Gives off to Villalta, and Villalta bottled up. A swarm of defenders. Dylan Tavetter was in there, as well as Jack Grimaldi.
Important play right here. Important play right here. You got decision time coming up if we don't end up in the end zone. This one's a biggie. If we see some sort of run pass option, or we see DSO booting out.
Joey DSO looking for the equalizer. 3rd and goal. Heaves it. End zone. Did he make the catch? No, he did not. Cole Villalta couldn't haul it in. Incomplete.
DSO's pass intended for number 7, Cole Villalta, falls incomplete.
See if we get another look there, but 4th down upcoming.
For the Chiefs.
Let's see, Kevin.
Oh, that was pass all the way. What a job by Joey to sneak it in that small window right there.
Yeah, incomplete. Good coverage by Chase Haffey and Chase Beer.
Very difficult catch for Cole.
Chris Bichetta comes on for the 24-yard field goal. First field goal attempt of the year on the road. High snap, kick end over end, and he drills it.
Got a football game here, John.
DSO the hold, and Anthony Danello the long snapper, and Massapequa on the board. 7-3 Oceanside with 7:54 to go in the first half. Well, while we have a break in the action, we'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, Speed Island, for today's game. Contact Onyx Salva and the gang over at Speed Island, located in Garden City. And we'll speak to Onyx at halftime. We'll have a fun food review as well. J. Paul's Terrace Cafe, the place to be in Oceanside. But either way, Speed Island, book your session today. SpeedIslandNY.com.
You know, John, that was a win-win for both teams right there in a sense. You know, Massapequa established the run game, proved to themselves and maybe to Oceanside that they can run this ball and control the clock. At the same time, Oceanside, who made a couple of mistakes in the wrinkles that were going on with the penalties, were able to hold them to 3 points.
And you're right, and that confidence boost, especially for a team that dropped 2 big ones to Massapequa last year and felt that they could have hung with the Chiefs and just were humbled over at Hofstra, and getting it done on the first drive of the second quarter defensively.
Those ghosts from last year have definitely been whispering in their ears all week long. Very inspiring for the boys.
And, you know, it's interesting because you can feel the difference between the two teams, whereas Massapequa, they had all the glory, but they graduated a ton of players. But these players were still on the bench. They were still practicing with them day in, day out. So the rivalry never dissipates, but for these Oceanside players, in fact, they were on the field taking their medicine. Chase Morris didn't handle it cleanly, then scoops it up inside the 5. Gallops ahead. And a gain of 6 for Chase Morris with 7:45 to go in the second quarter.
You know, John, in fairness to Chase, this is a tough time of the evening to be fielding punts and to be fielding kickoffs. You know, there's that combination down there, a shade and sun, and the glare can just be brutal.
Well, look at our referee, Paul Firsch, right? He's ensconced in the shade, but then his face is all sunshine. So it's going to be an issue for probably another, what'd you say, 45 minutes?
At least, yeah.
Now, the one rumor I heard is that it's a notoriously long halftime here at Oceanside, so that might actually help the home team. Or both teams anyway. They're both used to playing under the lights.
A lot of dance teams looks like it's represented down there. They're expecting to perform.
Oceanside's offense sets up shop at the 17-yard line. Ball on the ground. Massapequa says they have it. Waiting for confirmation, and they do.
Whoa.
A fumbled snap. And Massapequa, after getting the field goal, will set up in the red zone.
There's a game changer right there. There's a game changer, and you know what right now, John? The kids, staff from Massapequa just need to take a breath. Great thing has happened for us. Let's make this work for us. Let's come out with 7 and not 3.
Looks like Andrew Dato was in motion, or whoever the man was in motion, that's who the snap hit. And so a mental error, gifting Massapequa with good field position on the 15-yard line. Well, this defense tasked again for Oceanside. DSO trips receivers up top, slings it into the flat. He's got Villalta, stutter steps, and is brought down. Nowhere to go. Dylan Tveter in there with the first touch.
Brings up second and long for
Boy, beautiful tackle by Tveter. Anybody that thinks that's easy, you haven't been out there yourself. That is one tough play.
Roman Parisia also getting in there as well. And another jump. And an offside on Oceanside. In fact, all 3 penalties have been on Oceanside.
That's
False
tough.
start face mask, yeah.
That's a tough one because they took a tackle for loss just prior to that. That's a tough play to give back.
.6:55 and rolling. Villalta galloping forward towards the first down. He'll be a little short and should set up 3rd and 1 after the 5-yard gain.
Something a little different in this quarter from Massapequa. They're setting a tight end or they're setting an H-back constantly. It's forcing Oceanside to have to play that run force, and they're running weak or they're throwing weak.
Chiefs looking to convert on 3rd down. Hard count from Diesso. Diesso and Villalta in the backfield. Trailing 7-3. Villalta, he's got a first down and a touchdown. Carving through the defense as Tyler Villalta scores his first touchdown of the year, and the Chiefs are in front.
Tyler Villalta carries it for the Chiefs into the end zone for the touchdown. Massapequa leads 9-7.
I got to get some numbers on those guys, but the blocking on the left side of that line, holy crow, what a job. Everybody's on a man, everybody's sticky. Great, great job.
It looked like Connor Pineda, Alex Van Skyler, and the extra point is good. So in the blink of an eye, a 10-7 lead for Massapequa with 6:07 to go in the first half. We'll step aside on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Champions capitalize, and now Oceanside will take over. And Chase Morris fields it at the 10-yard line, gallops up ahead. He's got a seam. And a gain of 25, Chase Morris. Nifty return for Oceanside.
Yeah, one big play returns another, and that was a great, great job by that young man. You know, I did want to get back to, John, that was Tom Bingen and Connor Pineda over on the left side of that Massapequa line. Outstanding job.
Yeah, no, they've done a good job so far blocking up front. No penalties for Massapequa yet either, and that's something that you keep an eye on in specifically week 0 in the early seasons. And yeah, I'd have to imagine as a coach, you kind of take for granted the line when they're not committing penalties. And for Massapequa, they've been disciplined. First down, Villela slings it and batted away. Cole Villalta in there as well as Billy Scruba. I think Scruba had the deflection first.
You know, John, in my previous job, I've been recruiting Massapequa players for years. And when you come out of that Massapequa youth program, it is just outstanding. And the great thing about getting those kids, and maybe that translates into no penalties, they know how to play football. They've been doing it since they were 5 years old, blocking chairs in their kitchens and pass blocking their grandmothers, you know, in the backyard, 6 or 7 years old. They just do a great, great job in that youth program.
Oceanside calls a timeout. You can see the frustration for Rob Blount. I don't think he had the right personnel out there. But you're right, when it comes to the Massapequa Mustangs as well, the youth feeder program over there. I know you know the Dietrich family.
Oh, yeah.
Two very good families over there, and you're right, and it translates because if you're learning those fundamentals young, it's...
And when we get them in freshman football, when we've gotten them in freshman football, you're not teaching them drills. They're running drills from day one, where there are other kids from other towns who, you got to teach them how to put their helmet on right. You got to get that girdle on the right direction. These boys, they step on the field and they're ready to play.
And the good thing about it is, you're starting in the red zone theoretically, or metaphorically.
That's a great analogy.
And so now Blount, I believe, has used all 3 of his timeouts. 2nd and 10 from the 35, 5:54 to go in the second quarter. First time that Oceanside is trailing in the contest. And the handoff ball on the carpet. Villela goes to retrieve it and then dives on top of it. Huge loss for Oceanside.
5:45 and running. 5:45 left in this game. That is, Yep. Running back just makes too tight a contact with the quarterback. That's a costly mistake.
Long third down coming up for the Sailors.
Massapequa still has 3 timeouts. This is a big play.
So 3rd and 22 for Oceanside.
You haven't heard any PA announcements? Just now, you didn't hear that?
Luke Villela, single receiver up top. Or check that, that's Kenny Schur. Schur calling his own number out of the Wildcat. Prances forward, Schur still on his feet. And Schur pushed out of bounds near the first down marker.
That's the play we saw from the 2-yard line down there. That was that initial one that got them out of, they were trapped, got them out of that spot. Great zone blocking by Oceanside. You give credit to the entire group. Hands are on. Everybody's on the front side of the defender. And look at that running. Great ball security. Boy, he's slippery.
So 3rd and 22 becomes 4th and 2 after the 20-yard pickup. And a timeout taken by Massapequa to talk it over. It's got to be nice when you got a safety valve like that in Kyle Schur.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, so this crowd, you could sense a little bit of the angst and the anxiety. They saw their team rolling in the first quarter, but has been a little humbled in the second quarter for Oceanside.
It's an interesting timeout, and that's why I got caught short just now. It's an interesting timeout because you're not quite sure what Oceanside's going to do. Could this be a quick kick? Will they send out the punt team right now? Are they going to snap it and simply try to get Massapequa to jump off sides? A lot of scenarios here in this play.
Let's take a look at Oceanside last year. They went 6-4, made it to the semifinals, and in fact, they've met Massapequa in the playoffs in each of the last 3 years, losing to them in the county final in 2021. With some big numbers that they're losing: Brian Kramer, Joseph Bonacore, and Ben Reviso. But their offense, pretty secure last year.
Yes. And there's a number of different generations of coaches out there. Coach Blount, very, very creative. He takes a simple play, dresses it up.
Same 2 plays in a row.
On 4th down, Villela bounces forward. He's got a first down and gets across midfield. Well, Rob Blount rolling up his sleeve and getting his first down play. What do you see here, Coach?
Oh, big block right there by Andrew Dotto. Big block. Gets his hat on that player. Keeps driving his legs. I mean, he was getting that first down no matter what, but we got the extra 5 or 6 yards because of Dotto.
Villela, gain of 2. 4:20 and rolling.
Well, John, you go with what works. I mean, right now they're riding this quarterback down the field. Still plenty of time on the clock, but My instincts tell me we're going to see that bootleg creep its way back into this game.
It was so efficient in the first quarter for Villela, and even when we saw Shane Harmon.
And for Luke right now, he's right-handed. He's got the field going on that boot. Well, they stay with power football.
Yeah, and that's Roman Parisia. Loss of 1. Parisia, the senior. In fact, what a story it was for Parisia last year, 26 in black for Oceanside. He was the 6th-string linebacker, and because of all of the injuries, was thrown into the fire, and then you couldn't take him off the field because he was so efficient. And now that he's athletic, some graduating players, some injuries, now he's thrown in there as an extra running back.
What joy it brings you as a coach, too. We had a player in my previous job as a junior, Aiden Capolino. He was so low on the depth chart, you had to look in the basement to find him. Next year comes around, he's Catholic League Defensive Player of the Year and an All-American at the University of Chicago. There's your bootleg.
Villela, defender sinking in and fires away.
John, I can't tell you how big that play was by Alex Kalemi. Alex Kalemi just made a huge play, keeping that bootleg bottled up.
And it's plays like that, which is why he's not the kicker anymore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So good getting into the backfield. And now the special teams comes on for Oceanside.
And that's another example. You know, you talk about Roman. Kids change every year, and they make decisions in the offseason. I don't want to watch from the sideline. I want to be between the white lines.
And as a coach, there's got to be nothing more energizing than a player that wants it that bad.
It's inspiring. It's absolutely inspiring.
So interesting formation, and Massapequa back for the punt, but Villela's on, as is Ryan Pender. And Villela, he'll take it himself. They're going for it on 4th down, and Massapequa was all over it. Oceanside trying to go for it on 4th and 9 and a turnover on downs.
You know, you got to hand it to Coach Blount. You know, he makes this call. He's got the trust. He believes in his kids. He knows his kids believe in themselves. On the other side of the ball, you know, these, like I said, these Massapequa guys, they're not new to this game. You know, they know what's happening.
You know, not the worst decision either, considering where they are on the field.
No. And it's short time right now.
Yeah, 2:49 to go in the first half. 10-7 Massapequa. Joey DSO. How about Tyler Villalta in the open field? Look at Tyler Villalta go 30, 20, 10 to the end zone, touchdown. 55-yard TD run. Tyler Villalta and the Chiefs open it up late in the first half.
All I got to say, John, is wow. You know, before they snap that ball, I'm saying to myself, do you play this conservative? You're getting the ball in the second half. Let's see what happens. Well, they saw what happens.
We'll check the replay when we get it, but what a jolt for Villalta. And sparking this offense for Massapequa. Bichette on for the extra point. And he drills it. Led by the team of DSO and Danello.
Beautiful kick and long snap. Great job.
Let's take a look at that run again, Kev.
Look at, oh boy, who is that opening up that hole over there? That's Joey Brooks. And Joey Brooks does a great job of fanning that defensive end out. Keeps his hands inside. You know, John, in this world, this new world, it's not new anymore, zone blocking, it started out, you snap the ball, and you could watch 5 guys all holding at the same time. Now what you have is it's catching up with itself, and you get kids really working on their craft, and that was a beautiful example of technique.
Well, as we saw last year, as Tyler Villalta goes, so go the Massapequa Chiefs. And you could sense a little bit of a hangover effect in the first quarter, but second quarter, they've come out firing.
great running backs will do that to your team too. They get you energized. You know, it's such a physical position. They inspiring.
So 2:36 to go in the first half.
Still plenty of time on here, John, for the Sailors.
You have to imagine for Oceanside, even if it's a field goal, they do not want to go into the half down 10.
Absolutely. You know, as I said earlier, Massapequa needed to respond. I think right now Oceanside needs to respond. Doesn't matter how many points, they got to get on the board.
Chase Morris fields it at the 15-yard line and gallops ahead and downed at the 39-yard line. Well, the Wantagh School District, in conjunction with the Wantagh 9/11 Committee, will be hosting the Wantagh Warrior 9/11 Memorial 5K Run and Walk on Sunday, September 22nd at 9 a.m. to honor the bravery and memory of those from the community that were lost on September 11th, 2001. Information can be found at www.raceawesome.com or the Wantagh School District website. 2:29 to play, first quarter. 17-7 Massapequa. Tyler Villalta with a pair of touchdowns. One from 5 yards, another from 55. And there's the first catch of the evening for Chase Morris. Shakes his defender past the 40 before he gets gang tackled by Billy Scruba, as well as A.J. Malenko.
And there's that read off the quick draw we were talking about earlier. You saw a late adjustment by Massapequa. Quarterback zips it right out there. Beautiful play. And you know what? For Chase, that was a very physical return on the kickoff. He follows that up with a big catch. Great job. Tough kid.
2:05 to play, first half. Villela airs it out. Far side. He's got a man. And it is Kyle Shore to the end zone. What a response. Oceanside answers back.
Big nights, John. Big nights require big plays and big decisions. Heck of a job by the Sailors. Beautiful pass. Absolutely beautiful pass by Luke. Dropped it right in the bucket.
What a half for Kyle Shore.
Kyle Shore!
As that makes it 17-13 with 1:51 to go in the second quarter.
I'm a fan too, man. One with both. Tom Weaver's on the phone. Tommy.
And now for the extra point, it's Ryan Pender. Shane Harmon the snap. With Villela the hold. And the kick is good. 17-14, 1:51 to go. And if there was any time that Oceanside needed a big play, it was then, Kevin.
Hey, Kyle Shore, let's talk about Kyle for a moment. That doesn't happen by accident. Kyle Shore makes that play because of a lot of big off-season training. He's caught that ball in the spring and in the summer 10,000 times. And, hey, you can't take away from Luke Villela. He dropped that right in the bucket. What a beautiful job. And the offensive line, well, he could have had a cup of coffee back there.
Gotta love it, and what we've seen so far. Great atmosphere here at the 309. And with 1:51 to play in the first half.
You know, I think right now we're going to see both of these teams play this 1:51 very carefully right now. Nobody wants to flinch at this moment.
56-yard TD catch and run for Kyle Shore. And you know, Schure's an interesting story. We just saw the touchdown, 7 in black, and he, all-conference baseball player as well. And he was getting recruited by his fellow baseball players who also play football as well. He didn't play the last couple of years. Rob Blount, his criminology teacher, said, hey, we have a spot if you're open. And I have to imagine he's pretty satisfied with that little recruiting pitch to Mr. Schure.
You know, fighting the recruiting battle with your young kids, I did it for many, many years with lacrosse players. It's not easy, and you don't want to judge them. You don't want to judge them. You don't want to push them. It's their life. But when you do get that kid who wants to commit to your program and commit to his friends, it just makes you feel great.
Look at this, like an outfielder going back to the warning track. And a great move to get around Frank Romano. Boy, did Oceanside need that.
Yeah, that timing couldn't have been better, that's for sure. That is for sure. You know, sometimes, John, there's a point with teenagers, even some college kids, where too many bad things in a game piled up on the other, it starts to get a little dark out there. That lifted a lot of spirits.
1:51 to play, first half. Villalta. Big gain for Tyler Villalta. He's got a first down and is wrestled down at the 40-yard line after the 20-yard run.
Sorry, Ben.
What's making Villalta so special this first half?
You know, running backs. It's kind of like a lot of athletes. They get on a roll. He's on a roll. He doesn't know anything else right now. He's enjoying the physicality of the game. He believes in himself. And even more importantly, he believes in those guys in front of him that are blocking like heck for him.
So it looks like there was a penalty that came in afterwards.
Yeah, I have a feeling Coach Blount's going to be talking to the kids about that one. Those penalties at halftime.
Fourth penalty of the half for Oceanside. Villalta again. Back-to-back runs for Tyler Villalta into Sailor territory before he gets wrangled down.
And once again, what a block by Cole Villalta. Beautiful block.
And there's Villalta. And how about the job of Luke Miller, who is battling for position with a wide receiver for Massapequa and then able to make the open field tackle. Villalta not easy to bring down. 1 minute. Play action. DSO rolling out. Fires it near side, incomplete.
Very smart play by him. Again, you know, keeping that play alive. He's got nothing going on. That's what a veteran does. You know, on that earlier play, you got to love the Villalta brothers. One guy's blocking the heck for his brother who's running the ball. Then they start yelling at each other on the ground. You know, who should have cut where.
And two different personalities where Tyler is a silent leader, the running back, and Cole is much more boisterous.
Yep.
It's always funny. It's the younger brothers, right, that are the loudest.
Oh, yeah. Big play right here, John.
52 seconds to go, 3rd and 2. The handoff this time, Andrew Pedalino, as he pedals forward, has a first down. And then Pedalino went about 15 yards to gain 4.
Huge first down right there.
Clock still running, 35 seconds. DSO out of the gun. Whips it, incomplete. Underthrew his target in Romano.
You know, Frank was open. All good, though. All good. The clock is stopped. 2nd down. Chiefs are in control right here.
Well, the clock has been a friend for Massapequa so far.
That's that Peralta, boy. He makes that easy. Peralta and those 5 big dogs in front of him.
No, you're right. Van Skyler, Malenko, Tarasi, Biggin. Rounding out the offensive line for Massapequa, but a timeout.
You know what? I don't want to leave out Billy Skirba, number 26. He's a multi-dimensional football player. You've seen him all day long making some huge blocks and huge plays. Doing a great job.
Kevin Shippos calls a timeout, and I'll have you put your coach's hat on here for Shippos. What's he telling his team?
Well, I think right now he's telling them to be smart, He's telling him to be smart. He's telling him somebody, we want to make a play here, but we don't have to do anything desperate. We don't have to, you don't have to pull the fire alarms on this one. Got 30 seconds left in the half. John, maybe you could help me. Does Oceanside have any timeouts left?
No timeouts left, and that's what Massapequa did last year and winning their 4th Long Island championship in school history.
I think you give it to Peralta. He's had the hot hand.
Villalta.
I'm sorry, yeah. Villalta. Let's give it to
Don't apologize to me. It's all the parents that we get the DMs from.
Yes.
Trying to protect you.
That's what happens when you're dealing with gym teachers up here, But you deal with, give that to Villalta. He's had the hot hand. Then he'll let us know.
Tyler Villalta, 2 touchdowns today. 1 from 55, 1 from 5. 2nd and 10 from the 45. DSO back to pass. Sees the pressure. Then carries it and chugs out of bounds.
Beautiful play by Joey. Shows great feet. I mean, that's fundamental quarterback work. Offensive line gives him a great fan out. He takes the middle, goes up into the pocket. Excellent job.
For Oceanside, it's got to be a little debilitating. They lock down the Massapequa wide receivers, but they've got a quarterback that's so mobile that you can't stop both.
Yeah, and but you know what? On the other side, it's 3rd and 5, and that's not. There's really minimize the damage.
.6 seconds to go in the first half. 3rd and 6 from the 41. Man in motion is Kenny Jean. High snap, DSO. Pressure coming, short dart. Villalta knocked down. Jack Grimaldi with the tackle. And let's see if that does it for the half.
That was a middle screen. Extremely well-timed call by Massapequa, but Grimaldi made a huge play. If Grimaldi doesn't make that play, that thing could have gone for 25 or 30 yards, and now we're talking about a field goal.
Well, it'll be 4th and 5 at the 40-yard line. I was talking to Kevin Shippos during the week, and he said that he's comfortable with Busqueta from 40 and in, but they're at the 40-yard line. This would be a 57-yard field goal?
Yeah, that's a lot of field goal.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Busqueta was to make a 57-yard field goal, they'd go for those kicks every day of the week and twice on Sunday from this point forward.
I was lucky enough to have a kid last year named Tim Tomlinson. Timmy's kicking for Delaware right now. And his accuracy at 50 yards, it was 50-50. But I didn't mind doing it because you knew he was going to kick it out of the end zone. The worst that was going to happen was they get the ball on the 20. Right. It was as good as a punt.
And that might be the play here, too, because with 8 seconds, you're still leaving some time on the clock for a big play by Oceanside.
Well, I think we're going to see Tyler carrying this one.
Well, Villalta in the backfield, DSO there. 8.1 seconds to go. And the 309 on their feet. DSO heaves it way down the field, incomplete.
Got a flag down, John, near sideline.
And we'll see, at least going on body language, looks like it could be against Cole Villalta. Saw a lot of contact near side, you're right. A legal man downfield for Villalta. Penalties declined, and Oceanside takes over with 1.6 to go. And DSO just heaving it here and hoping for the best. The Hail Mary.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a great decision by him. Great decision, great coverage by Oceanside. I think we're going to see a similar play on this one, John.
Would you like to heave it at the end of the half or just take a knee?
You know what? In this game, down 17-14, I think I'd take a shot down deep.
Well, look who's in the backfield. It's Kyle Schur, who's been great out of the Wildcat. He'll take the direct snap. Looking for some late half magic. Time expires, and Schur is taken down, and that does it for the half. What an electric first half. The defending Long Island champion Massapequa Chiefs come to Oceanside, and they head to the half, leading team. Looking to spoil week 0 for Oceanside, but a lot of fight out of this Sailor team.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we signed up for. You know, I feel like I'm coaching again out on the field, here with Varsity Media, here with you, all right, and watching this primetime game in week 0. What a showcase for Section 8.
Now, we're happy to have you, and let's take another look at what we've been seeing in the first half. It's been a lot of Tyler Villalta and that offensive line for Massapequa.
Yeah, those guys, boy, talk about some heavy hip drive and just great technique from those guys. That's a single, it's 5 men, but that's a single unit you have up there.
Well, the defending champs playing like that unit. Halftime here at the 309, 17-14 for the defending champs. When we come back, speak to Onyx Salva, the founder for Speed Island. This is the Varsity Media Sports Network. For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Inside the 10 to the end zone.
Oh, he's got a wide open receiver. A.J. Duff. Get out of the way! Dante Torres! End zone. Touchdown.
10-5 touchdown. If you know Oceanside, you know J. Paul's Terrace Cafe. For more than 4 decades, J. Paul's Terrace Cafe is the best bite for sports professionals past and present. Open daily and featuring music on the weekends, J. Paul's Terrace Cafe offers 14 flat-screen TVs and Fast Track, an OTB horse wagering system. There's no better place to watch the big game with your friends or take the family out for a meal. Place your reservation today at 516-536-1806. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Halftime here at Oceanside High School. It is the Massapequa Chiefs with a 17-14 lead over Oceanside. And at this halftime, we are pleased to be joined by Onyx Salva, the founder for Speed Island, located in Garden City, and a big proponent of student athletes across Nassau County, particularly in Oceanside. And for Onyx, I'm curious, you've always been a person that wants to give back to the community. You were a former athlete yourself as well. Tell me a little bit about the origin story of Speed Island and how people can get involved.
So in regards to the origin story, I pay it forward for my high school coaches, Copa Britt, Ron James, Dr. Ken Leisner, Derek Atkins. They were big inspirations for us within the community. So there was always community leaders. So for me, this is how I honor my mentors. So, and in regards to getting in contact with me, you can reach me at my email, speed.island2022@gmail.com. But Speed Island's a legacy, and for me, it's more than just training, coaching. It's about really mentoring.
Yeah, and it's not just that, too. I've been to some of the workouts as well, working with travel baseball teams, track athletes, football, lacrosse. I don't think there's any athlete that you don't train. What is it about the offseason and the camaraderie that's built during the offseason that, yes, obviously everyone wants to have a big regular season, but that's really where friendships are made?
Oh, absolutely. When you walk into our facility, you see athletes across the board, soccer, lacrosse, football, track and field, volleyball, you name it, we have it. And, you go to a place where, you want everybody to be better within the classroom, but also in their particular sports. And everybody pushes each other, and everybody holds each other accountable. Most of the times, I don't even have to say anything because the athletes hold each other accountable. They know what's expected of them. You walk in there, you see a Lyric Samuel, Josiah Brown, or KJ Duff. You already know what is expected as soon as you walk through those doors. So it's extremely important.
And, you mentioned a couple of names there. Who are some athletes that you're excited to see their progression this year that are working with you?
Lyric Samuel, he's ranked as the #1 football player in New York State. He plays for Erasmus Hall. He's phenomenal, 6'5". He just clocked in at a 4.5 140. And Dylan Bender, our Oceanside athlete. Joey D'Aso's another one. He's very shifty. He came to me right after they won the championships last year. Worked on his frequency and his max velocity, and, you see what the difference is. Also, Gavin from Farmingdale, receiver. Him and Lucas Martin from Hills East. The list goes on and on. We're very fortunate to have these athletes, and, it makes it special because now it's, it's a family environment where I'm at, and everybody's rooting for each other. So I'm very blessed, and I love football, and football season is even special now.
Now, for all the coaches out there that want to get involved, how do they get in touch with you?
So you can reach me through my email. A big thing that we do is we ask for their grades, their report cards, right? Because we have an academic policy. So if you meet those academic requirements, then we're more than willing to work with anybody. So in regards to contacting me, you can contact me through my website. You can contact Coach Blount to get my number. I'm very easily, it's very easy to get in contact with me.
Now, there might be some players out there that want to improve their speed, but they might not be able to make it to the facility. So what are some quick home exercises that they could do in the meantime, instead of coming to the facility or before they come to the facility?
Well, you want to start with a dynamic stretch routine, which is stretching in motion. And they say in order to be fast, you got to train fast. Okay? So I would say if you want to do build-ups between 20 meters, 30 meters, 40 meters, right? And with each rep, you get progressively faster. You go from 60% to 70%, 75%. So you increase your intensity as you go on. As long as you do that and warm up properly, they'll see some results.
All right, and then one lasting thing that you want to tell people out there, I think it's great for everyone at home because regardless of the sport, you always want to improve your speed, but there's some endurance that's built into it as well. But also just what about the mental makeup of, people that are working day in, day out in one facet of their game, particularly their speed?
So we work a lot on the mental aspect of it. Mental health is huge now. It always has been, and that's one area that we really specialize in. because these athletes, they got to wake up early. They got to go to school. Then they got to practice. And then they got to do their homework. And then they got to come to us. So, we actually have sit-downs and we have talks. We have specialized coaches that deal with the mental aspect of the game, because it's important because, these student athletes, they go through a lot. So, to be honest, the results that these athletes are getting, they're just a byproduct of the mentorship that we're providing all around. And I feel like when athletes really see a coach and a coaching staff that actually really care genuinely, then, they run through a wall for you. And I'm just I'm a product and an example of those type of coaches.
All right, well, that's good to hear. With that said, we have a very special treat during this halftime. It is the J. Paul Terrace Cafe food review time as well. And, of course, if you know Oceanside, you know J. Paul's Terrace Cafe located at 239 Merrick Road in Oceanside. Give them a call, 516-536-1806. And, Onyx, I know that there are cheat days out there and that you don't want to have it every day be a cheat day, but we've got a couple of dishes out here. So, Joe Bonin and everybody over there, thank you so much for your support of Varsity Media in this game. So he hooked us up today. We've got the 10 honey hot wings, sweet chili wings, roast beef cafe, and the steak tidbits. So I know you had your eyes on the wings. I've got the roast beef. So go ahead, get in there.
All right. I grew up on wings. So, all right.
All right. So let's show everyone at home what you got there.
All right. So we got a drum. Okay. Let's see how this drum looks.
Are you a drummer or a flat guy?
I mean, I don't discriminate. I like both. I feel like both of them has its advantages, but you need to know how to actually eat the flats. All right.
All right. So get in there. Tell the people what they're tasting or what you're tasting. I've got the roast beef cafe with waffle fries.
Well, these wings are finger licking good, John. Okay. These are really good. It's hot, but it has the right amount of sauce on it. And the way it's cooked, I just like it. They have the best wings on the island. I go there. Whenever I have a cheat day, I actually schedule it, right? And when you have a cheat day, you want to enjoy yourself, and J. Paul's Wings is just the way to go.
And the cool thing about J. Paul's Wings is that, and I know you don't discriminate on the flavors either, so you're getting different flavors in there as well. Mm-hmm. I've got the roast beef sandwich, which is fantastic. I'm a huge roast beef guy. Mm-hmm. Love the cheese in here.
Okay.
We got the cheese melted to perfection. Still hot, which is very good. You gotta love your hot food. If I'm cheating and I'm looking for the gains, this is for me.
Is the bread toasted too?
Bread's toasted, which is good. It's great in restaurant or if you get it delivered. But of course, go to J. Paul's Terrace Cafe as well. And then one last thing that we have over here are the steak tidbits.
Man.
So I'm gonna. There's a lot of cheese here, and I'll take all of it.
Oh, so what on your cheat days, what is your beverage of choice?
Well, I'm not like Jim Harbaugh, who has a whole gallon of milk when you need it, but probably a good pop.
Okay.
Have some soda. How about you?
Okay. Iced tea, sweetened, always sweetened, never blend.
All right. Well, that's good to hear. All right, it's halftime here. We're going to nosh on this food once again. Thank you to Speed Island. Thank you to J. Paul's Terrace Cafe, located at 239 Merrick Road in Oceanside. Reserve your table today, 516-536-1806 or jpaulsoceanside.com. Second half coming up next. Massapequa leads Oceanside 17-14 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Wide open receiver, A.J. Duff.
Get out of the way! Dante Torres!
End zone, touchdown. 10-5 touchdown.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
High school sports fans, are you following Varsity Media on our YouTube channel? For the best coverage of New York high school sports, make sure you head to youtube.com/Varsity Media. 3 easy steps. First, hit that like button, and then be sure to subscribe. And finally, tap that yellow bell to be notified of all of our upcoming sportscasts. Thank you for following Varsity Media on YouTube. High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050. For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media. When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Did you just have the best athletic year of your life? And now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us today for more information. Don't rely on word of mouth or cold emails. Let Varsity Media help you take your game to the next level. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
If you know Oceanside, you know J. Paul's Terrace Cafe. For more than 4 decades, J. Paul's Terrace Cafe is the best bite for sports professionals past and present. Open daily and featuring music on the weekends, J. Paul's Terrace Cafe offers 14 flat-screen TVs and Fast Track, an OTB horse wagering system. There's no better place to watch the big game with your friends or take the family out for a meal. Place your reservation today at 516-536-1806.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Wide open receiver, AJ Duff.
Get out of the way! Dante Torres!
End zone, touchdown.
10-5 touchdown! Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
High school sports fans, are you following Varsity Media on our YouTube channel? For the best coverage of New York high school sports, make sure you head to youtube.com/varsitymedia. 3 easy steps. First, hit that like button, and then be sure to subscribe. And finally, tap that yellow bell to be notified of all of our upcoming sportscasts. Thank you for following Varsity Media on YouTube. High school.
Welcome you back to Oceanside High School and the visitors and the leaders in this game. Massapequa leading 17-14 over Oceanside. He's Kevin Dolan, I'm John Perez, and they've been boisterous all night, and they had a lot to cheer about towards the end of the first half, especially for Kyle Schur, what he's been able to do today. How about Schur? 3 for 53 on the ground. He's got 3 catches for 97 yards. He has been one of the best offensive players for Oceanside tonight.
Well, you know what? This game was getting close to being put in the books in that second quarter. And he shook those defenders, got himself open, made a beautiful catch. The pass, of course, was outstanding. Right on the money. Big, maybe the biggest play of the half. Maybe the biggest play of the half.
And so Oceanside coming out now, and what do you think the conversation was at halftime for Rob Blount?
I think for Rob, I think what he's saying to his kids is stay the course. I mean, they've got a game plan. They've been hitting that perimeter. They've been hitting the edge. They've been looking to go up top with the big play. What they have to change is the penalties. And, the first half is over. We got the bugs out of our system. Stop the nonsense. Let's focus on what we're doing here. No more penalties, especially any of those silly roughness penalties or anything like that have nothing to do with what's going on in the game. And you know what? Kids understand that. And these Oceanside kids, they're smart, they're competitive, high energy. they're going to make that. I anticipate they're going to make that adjustment.
And there's Luke Villella leading the charge, one of the captains. He and Dylan Kakareko, 62 for Oceanside, being let out now, and we'll listen to the ovation and what they get tonight.
You know, John, looking at Kakareko here, I think of both offensive lines, both Oceanside and Massapequa, for an early season game. Outstanding work, outstanding effort, outstanding work. Very few penalties inside with those guys. And it shows. Oceanside quarterback has had a ton of time to throw the ball. Of course, we've seen the big runs from Massapequa. Offensive line, the lines win the game. You know, the lines win the game. And as I said earlier in the game, we're seeing some big events on special teams tonight.
Chris Pesqueta, Ryan Pender have been exceptional in the kicking game, and the long snapper and holders as well. And Massapequa, they deferred at the start of the contest, so you should get the ball first. And either way, I asked you about what Blount was probably saying. If you're Kevin Shippos, the message to your team.
Game's not over. That's what Kevin's saying to them. These guys aren't going anywhere. They have every intention of winning this game. They're not going to give up. They're not going to you can't count on them to lose the game. We have to beat them. And you know what? Kevin's not telling, but Coach Shippos is not telling. They don't know. And Massapequa's up to that challenge.
Yeah, it should be a fun second half, especially. It was looking a little dicey there early on from the Oceanside perspective. They scored the first touchdown, but then 17 unanswered points to go up 17-7. But then Kyle Schur making a big play to make it 17-14 going into the half.
All right, we were talking about the sun and the shade earlier, John. You know what? When the lights go on, that brings a whole different dynamic, especially in the punting game. Balls go up, they disappear, then they reappear. Not an easy thing to do. This Oceanside facility, by the way, is beautiful, and I was saying to somebody up here in the booth, you got to hand it to the kids in the crowd here. It's high energy, it's packed, extremely well behaved. Extremely well behaved. They're just cheering on their teams and enjoying a beautiful night.
No, it's been a lot of fun as we get ready for the start of the second half. And Pender boots it away. And Tyler Villalta, the star of the first half for Massapequa, picks it up inside the 5 and shuffles ahead. And gets swarmed as Oceanside rallies over to the football after the pickup of 7.
Great idea by Oceanside. You know, they don't have a choice but to get it to Villalta. So let's shorten the field. You see how they do here? They trap him between the numbers and the sideline. And, you minimize the damage.
So now Joey Diesso back out there, and I mentioned Joey Dimes, only one completion in the first half for 7 yards. It's been a lot of ground and pound for the Chiefs, and we'll see we'll see if we see a new Diesso in the second half.
You wonder if Oceanside defensively is going to dare Massapequa to throw the ball. Now, I'm not discounting Joey Diesso. I mean, his resume in terms as a passer is outstanding. But we haven't really seen him do it tonight.
Well, looking to get into a rhythm, and there's no better safety valve than Tyler Villalta, but he's stuffed and a loss. Big tackle there by Michael Lucas, the nose guard. Lucas, a player, 53 in black, that came up towards the end of last year and was dominating in the front lines and got a lot of run, specifically playoff time, and it's that confidence that was instilled in him by the coaching staff to give him the starting gig week 0.
Well, to get off a tackle and get out there on the edge and make something happen, that's a motivated kid with a deep gas tank.
Scroober, the man in motion. Diesso keeps it himself. Oceanside sniffs it out. Diesso nowhere to go, and he's brought down. Kyle Schur. Schur made some plays on offense, and a TFL on Diesso.
Big tackle by Schur, and you know what? He had Dylan Bender, number 2, right there with him. Doing their job. Very disciplined defense by Oceanside.
Third down and 9, 10.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. The O's go up. Handoff, Villalta. Villalta. Swarmed. And he's going to be well short.
But you know, John, an important play. You know, it gives Massapequa a little bit of wiggle room now, a little bit of breathing room to run a regular punt, not backed up really into their end zone. Very important play. Nice job in the running. And the gang tackling by Oceanside. They've come out to get this done tonight.
So Chris Biscetta back out to punt. Second time that Biscetta's been tasked to punt. And the long snapper, Anthony Danello. End over end from the 19. And picked up near the 40-yard line. And into Chief territory. That is Chase Beer with the gain.
Well, great field position for the Sailors. You know, I want to go back to Anthony Danello, a long snapper from Massapequa. Nobody thinks about that job until things go wrong. And that was a beautiful long snap. Very crisp.
And not just that, Danello stays on the field on defense, 47 in white. Good player as a junior. Led the secondary in tackles of the returners that come. And now with 9:18, the Sailors take over at midfield after the 41-yard punt. Thrown into the flat. Could be a live ball, and Massapequa thinks it's a live ball. If we could see a replay, it's going to come down to what the officials say, incomplete, but that's awfully close to a live ball there.
That is very close. You know, sometimes with these shotgun quarterbacks, they make these calls as an automatic that it was a forward pass, but...
Yeah, that wasn't the angle to look at that one, but either way, it was...
Close. Very, very close.
Paul Fursch, the white hat.
You know, for these officials, John, there's a lot in these spread offenses. There's so much going on out there.
Here we go. Let's see.
Oh, boy.
I think if Massapequa takes that to court, they've got a case.
No objection.
So a break for Oceanside. 2nd and 10. This time a straight handoff. Andrew Dato into the open field. Dato to the 30. Shuffling at the 20. 10. Dato inside the 5. 48 yards for Andrew Dato. Sets up 1st and goal for the Sailors.
Well, you know, right now, Coach John, you know, sometimes you don't get the call that you think you should have got, and you get into a funk about it. You got to move on to the next play.
Well, the next play is for Oceanside, and towards the end zone, Villela just short. So a pickup of 1. The 2nd and goal.
What a run by Dato. What a job what a job. You know, he took his time. He didn't just start sprinting to the end zone. He made 2 or 3 really beautiful cuts.
Dato, a senior, came up as a sophomore, originally used as a blocking tailback, transitioned to a fullback, but looking like a running back on that last play, as so does Villela, and Oceanside gets in front. That drive was punctuated by Andrew Dato. Villela returns the favor, and Oceanside takes the lead.
And it doesn't hurt when you're running Draco and Grimaldi. Great effort right there.
And an interesting formation. Thought you would set up for 2, but Ryan Pender out there. Pender already 2 for 2 today. And he nails it. And a 21-17 lead for Oceanside with 8:11 to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll step aside. Week 0 action on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
8:11 to play, third quarter. Oceanside in front. 48-yard run. Andrew Dato setting up the 1-yard TD run by Luke Villela. And Pender puts it just shy of the end zone. And good field position for Massapequa as it's out of the way of Tyler Villalta. He's Kevin Dolan. I'm John Perez. And Oceanside needed an early statement to begin the second half, and they got one.
And you know, John, I go back to what I was talking about early in this game. You know, two different frames of thought. Oceanside, big plays. We had a big run right there. We had a big pass earlier right at the end of the half. Now you've got Massapequa. What's their plan right now? Let's get a drive. Let's burn some clock. Let's finish it off with a touchdown. See how it goes.
Defensively, what did you see from Oceanside on that last drive? Because it looked like a recipe for success.
I think, you know, it looked to me as if they're daring Massapequa to throw a little more. You know, they've got to stop Villalta. You can't continue to allow him to do what he did to you, especially in the second quarter. Otherwise, that's not going to work out very well.
You know, it's not exactly the best pick your poison if you're Oceanside, but you're right, especially what you saw out of Villalta in the first half. 10 carries, 106 yards, and 2 TDs.
Yep.
So Massapequa starts off their drive, 8:11 to play. And DSO fakes the give, shakes a couple of defenders, and is brought down. Takedown coming from Michael Lucas as well as Chase Beer.
Well, you asked what Oceanside is doing different. You know, playing that stack 3-3. They're spying DSO. You know, they're gonna try to take those two kids out. Have at least 1.5 guys on each. Worked out for him right there.
Villalta denied and gobbled up. Starting to see this front line for Oceanside play as one.
Well, what's happened too is with that 3-3 stack, it's not the best run defense, but it looks very strange to the offensive line. You don't get the angles that you want. It's very hard to figure out how to combo up or double team block and release somebody up to the linebacker. They're going to need to get on the whiteboard on the sideline.
Yeah, that was a cause for concern that we just saw on the sideline. Luke Villela might be cramping up. We'll see. That's QB1 for Oceanside. On 3rd and 9, the pass intercepted to the house. Kyle Shore making a statement in week 0. It's been Kyle Shore and the open field in this one. Oceanside opening it up.
Well, no adjustments on that one. That was a timely play. Plenty of time here. But as you can see, you know, a little bit of a miscommunication maybe on the depth of that route or exactly what he thought was going to happen on the pre-snap. Great break on the ball by Kyle Shore. He's a gamer.
Heck of a gamer. We saw him in the Wildcat on offense, now defensively with a pick 6.
This, by the way, this is an old Beth Page technique. The great Howie Votes ran these open sets. They were called the swinging eight, and they come from 8-man football.
And what's the reasoning for those shifts?
It takes time out of your practice all week long. You got to practice against that. It's going to require almost 10 to 15 minutes a day that you have to work on that, where you're not working on other things.
Well, it's been a lot to be excited about. And how about Luke Valello? A little banged up, but then when he sees the pick six, I think he's fine.
It's a miracle. Oh, no, he ain't fine. You know, John, I hope he gets himself back in the game. He's having a heck of a night. Cramps are a hard thing to come back from. You know, you get one, and they just don't go away. It's hard to get them to go away during the game. All those things about rolling it out and pickle juice and all these different concoctions that we've come up with over the years, the reality is he's going to struggle.
Well, and you know, it's not just that he's the starting quarterback, he's also a middle linebacker and a big part of this defense.
Yep, that's an important job. Okay, big series right here, John. Massapequa needs to make a statement and need to get back. Once again, it doesn't matter what they put on the board. It could be 3, but they need to get their confidence back. We need to drive. More than capable of doing it.
And how do you manage a veteran quarterback, but he just throws a pick six and might not be feeling the most confident in himself?
Oh, you
right
give
now.
him a hug and you tell him you love him. You know, your faith in him and your trust in him is not dependent on the last pass he threw. It's a long season. This is week 0. No matter how this turns out, there's a lot of big games down the road.
Luke Valella going out on defense. And Jason D'Esso back out there. Joey D'Esso, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is week 0, but never an easy schedule in Conference 1. Herrick's Weekly next week, and then Syosset, the defending runners-up in Section 8. Hempstead, Freeport, who we'll see on the Varsity Media Sports Network. That'll be a couple weeks later. East Meadow, Farmingdale, and Port Washington. Never easy in Conference 1.
No, never easy. You know, it reminds me of my Catholic League days where it's one grinder after the next. Big rosters, big boys, a lot of great coaching. Conference 1 football, week 0.
We're at the 6:32 mark in the third quarter. Joey D'Esso, after throwing a pick six to Kyle Scher, back out in the gun. Flag is out, and a false start. I'm going to check that. Should be a legal procedure.
Kids are a little rattled right now. They're a little rattled. This is what happens. You're getting the ball at the half. Didn't work out the way you wanted it to. They come up with a big play and then another big play. Take a breath. Find yourselves.
Now a 1st and 15 situation for Joey D'Esso. Villalta in the backfield and Andrew Pedalino in the slot. Villalta on 1st and long. Dragged down. Dylan Bender.
Great play by Oceanside, getting involved. Everybody's getting into the run fit. Tell you once again, young man Wieserak, he did one heck of a job. He is some blocker, this kid. 10th grader, excellent football pedigree.
See a down Massapequa player and some of the cramps coming up. That's Billy Scruba, 26 in white. So,
you know what's hard about these Friday night games, John, is that kids are in school all day long. A lot of areas of the school are very warm. Sometimes the kids, they start eating salty things like the chicken nuggets and the slices of pizza, and it's hard to control. It's hard to control, and you get a warm night like this, and you're going to see these cramps. You're going to see the calves cramping up and hamstrings.
There's Mike Spina in that huddle, the offensive coordinator. And, you know, for Massapequa, they've got 3 road games in their first 4 weeks, including a matchup against their rival Farmingdale, which will carry on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And then the schedule eases up from a home field advantage standpoint, final 3 weeks of the year.
You know, shout out to Coach Spina. I coached against Coach Spina for years, beat me every time when I was the head coach in New Hyde Park. And the thing about Coach Spina, he's always got something in his back pocket. He'll break your heart every time you're out there with him. Outstanding coach. And now, I believe he's a varsity assistant on some of the great Massapequa women's softball teams.
Yeah, and I think he won, and he'll correct me, and I'll get a text from him afterwards. I know they won Long Island Championship, which was KK Hilaire, who was at Floral Park, went on to play at Albany and then Seton Hall. Heck of a player. I think 1,000-point scorer as well. So these coaches wearing many different hats and, of course, across different sports.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
See that, of course, with Wantagh, Keith Sachs, baseball and football. And, yeah, not uncommon to see.
I think sometimes we got to remember these coaches. You know, they have these people at home called wives and children, and they spend a tremendous amount of time at school, on the fields, running from family occasions, running off the beach, in order to give these kids, it's not about winning, to give these kids the experience that they deserve. And, you know, hats off to every single coach, not just in Section 8, Section 11, the Catholic League. They just, they really sacrifice a lot.
Yeah. Here's what we have on the docket coming up. 2 good ones tomorrow, both in the Catholic League. St. John the Baptist and Holy Trinity. And then St. Anthony's traveling up to Rochester, probably on the road right now. 6-hour drive up to UPrep or University Prep. And then a couple of soccer matchups. Monday afternoon, Garden City takes on Southside. And then the defending Nassau County champion Manhasset takes on Roslyn. And then next week, the Battle of the Bridge comes to Long Island St. Francis Prep at 11 a.m. And then we'll see Joe Filardi against Brian Schofel's squad. Immaculata takes on Holy Trinity, same day, 2 p.m., and then rounded out with some soccer and volleyball. You can watch it all on youtube.com/varsitymedia. 6:15 to play, third quarter, 28-17 Oceanside. DSO back to pass, lobs it, far side, in the direction of Schur, and he picks off another one. Have a day, Kyle Shore. What do you see here?
Well, I'll tell you what, Kyle Shore, he can't do anything wrong tonight. If he were to cough out there, gold coins would come out. And, you know, sometimes, John, it's just your night. And just the way, you know, the Massapequa running game was firing out with Tyler Vallada, Kyle Shore is just on fire right now. And if I was, I wouldn't second-guess Coach Blount. He's a much better coach than I am. But if I was thinking about it, I think I'd look at Kyle Shore right now.
Don't undersell yourself either. It's a championship in there a couple years ago.
Yeah, a couple of championships. Really great kids.
So Oceanside takes over, 6:07 to go in the third quarter. Villela, play action, airs it over the middle. It's Chase Beer to the 10, chugging towards the end zone, and he gets taken down. Touchdown saving tackle by Anthony Danello, but first and goal for the Sailors.
And there's an example of what I was saying about Coach Blount. Takes a play, that is play off a quick draw. Massapequa's seen it already. Dresses it up a little bit more, puts another kid out there in an inside seam. Beautiful play. Extremely creative.
Get a little bit more creative now. Antonio Contrino comes on, as well as Andrew Dado.
Well, this is a heavy package right now. You'd think they're going to run it hard inside. Quarterback keep.
And Villela into the end zone. I think the leg is fine. Oceanside with some breathing room at home.
He must have been faking us earlier.
The hustle might be on for Luke Villela. Heavy package. Too easy for Villela.
Beautiful job. Very easy with the blocking you see right there. I mean, a ton of kids.
And so now Pender trying to keep his streak alive. 4 for 4 on the extra points. Harmon the snap, Villela the hold. And Pender nails it. 35-17 Oceanside. They are rolling at home. Well, the Wantagh School District, in conjunction with the Wantagh 9/11 Committee, will be hosting the Wantagh Warrior 9/11 Memorial 5K Walk Run on Sunday, September 22nd at 9 a.m. to honor the bravery and the memory of those from the community that were lost on September 11th, 2001. For more information, visit www.raceawesome.com or the Wantagh School District website. He's Kevin Dolan. I'm John Perez, and we knew that Oceanside had the firepower and making key second-half adjustments. It's been on full display to begin the third.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not really sure, John, that so much of this was adjustments. I think, again, week 0, I think they are a big play team. I think that's who they are. They needed to get the rust off of things. And, you know, the only way to do that is to get out there and play and make a couple of mistakes, and you have the guts and the wherewithal to just keep plugging at it. And you have to have coaches that believe in you, that are willing to double up and call these plays again. And that's what you have at Oceanside. For Massapequa, you know, I hate to talk about the end of the game, but this is a do-or-die moment, this series. This is a big moment for Massapequa. They gotta make some decisions right here.
See Villela still getting tended to on the sideline. Pender in the direction of Villalta. Picks it up on the long hop at the 15. Charging forward to the 30. Villalta up the sideline. And pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line. 30-yard return.
Well, you talk about that Mustang acumen. Tyler knows that Oceanside is trying to trap him between the numbers and the sidelines. So what's the first thing he did? Took his time, brought the ball back to the middle, gave him some room to bring it back outside. Very, very smart play. And you know what? That's what starts a big drive.
Massapequa team that lost 30 seniors from last year's title-winning team, and now those who were on the bench tasked with being a starter and taking their lumps in week 0, but a lot of experience coming back for Oceanside.
Those Massapequa returners, too, though, they're doing themselves proud tonight. I mean, you know, they're still scraping off some rust as well, and they've made a couple of errors early in this third quarter, but they're here to play the game.
Villalta on the sweep, pushed out of bounds.
You know, I got to apologize to Billy Skirba. I was talking about Nolan Wieserak before as the tight end. It was Billy Skirba. He's having a huge night. I mean, he's a quintessential tight end. He's big. He's got great frame. We haven't seen him catch the ball tonight, but I'm absolutely positive that he can. Excellent blocker.
Yeah, Skirba 26 in white, and a personal foul called against Massapequa, so the magic words were said towards that Oceanside sideline.
Yeah. Frustration. You know, the young kids early in the season, they're excited. They want to continue this win streak that they've been in on, and sometimes impulses take you over. You know, when I was a coach and these things would happen with my guys, you know, you started with, can you not do that ever again? Right? And you always got the right answer. I'm sorry. And the kids make the corrections. It's about learning.
Back in the day, they'd send the nuns on them.
Oh, yeah. You'd be calling for the ice bags.
2nd and 28. Well, if there's anybody that could get you out of a big deficit, it's this guy, Villalta. But nowhere to go. Devoured by that Oceanside front line. Michael Lucas had first contact, and eventually Oceanside rallied over to Villalta.
Great call by Coach Spina. You know, it was a very light box, meaning that Oceanside did not have a lot of run stoppers in there on that play. Thinking it was an obvious pass play, and they stopped that cold.
Only a pickup of 1. See in the distance, 4:25 and rolling, third quarter. On third down, the sweep, nowhere to go for Kenny Jean. Jack Grimaldi with the TFL.
Little bit of a miscommunication out here, you know, blocking in space. Things are happening. Tyler runs past that tackle. He needed to help him a little bit more. Kenny Jean is some speedster. Great play by Oceanside.
Grimaldi, the junior. Rob Blount says he's the best pass rusher on the team for Oceanside, and he just showed why. I think Rob still thinks he's playing. Pesqueta boots it away. And caught at the 50-yard line, Chase Beer.
Oh, big tackle, big tackle. Oh, number 6, Chase Haffey. No, I'm sorry. Andrew Petalino. Great tackle.
Well, if Oceanside were to hold on, it's a big win. Of course, they are one of the most storied programs in Section 8, along with Massapequa, 3 wins away from 400. This is the 100th season for Oceanside, and for Massapequa, 10 wins away from getting into that 400 club as well.
Yeah, just a tremendous history, and what a lineage of players, obviously in the college levels, on the NFL levels. Take a lot of pride in their football.
Dylan Bender's been very reliable today. So has been Andrew Dado, as Dado gets the block from Bender.
Beautiful tackle by Lucas Benucci.
You know, for Benucci, a junior, 6'1", 200 pounds, wearing 58 in white, and you see at the middle of the screen. And he's someone that could get into the backfield, and Kevin Schippo says he can't wait to see him get to his full potential.
Yeah, tough job for those big boys inside, Belushi and Benenku. Getting doubled all day long, trying to peel that.
Here's Dado with a seam. Andrew Dado, eyes to the house, one man to beat, and Dado wrestled down just shy of the end zone. Big tackle from behind by Alex Chalemi, and another big run for Dado. But a flag is down, and this will bring Oceanside back. Well, I know the penalty stings for Oceanside, but you got to love the explosiveness from Dado.
Oh, incredible, incredible. You know, you're seeing all of these kids tonight as this game is going on start to settle into the 2024 season. You know, the practices and the summer camps and the scrimmages are fun, but when it gets real, that's when the switches get turned.
You know, for Dado, it's interesting because he's kind of like Darren Sproles, right? 5'7", 165 pounds, but he could hit the seam.
And he's got more than one speed. You know, you saw him, he hit that hole under control, and he dropped that stick shift down a little bit more, got into the open field, found an extra gear.
And how difficult is it for a defensive secondary to go against a smaller target like Dado?
Oh, that's not easy at all. Not easy at all. And you know what, John? It's not something you coach. It just comes to him naturally.
Play action at Dado, comes near side on the curl. Schur hauls it in. Kyle Schur, he's been explosive as well. Towards the first down marker. And a gain of 12.
And you know, John, I don't know if people noticed, we're seeing a different playbook out of Coach Blount this half. That was a tunnel screen. that was off of an outside zone going the opposite direction. Really creative idea, really great play call.
Kyle Schur responsible for most of those 35 points there. Pick 6. Touchdown in the first half. He's been playing like a man possessed.
Oceanside taking their time right now, using some clock, but still calling big plays.
Tato up the gut. A gain of 3. 1:15 to go in the third.
Come on, big. There you go. Right up on your feet. This is where, you know what, this is where Massapequa, you know, you need these kids out there. You need these kids out there like your Skirbas, like your Villaltas. This is where you need the leadership on the field. You know, keeping everybody's spirits up, keeping guys focused, keeping that energy running.
And I'd have to imagine you kind of want to look at this like a snowball effect. You get a stop here and you could build momentum going into the fourth. But Villela having none of that. A first down flag is down. Villela to the end zone, touchdown. And we'll see if this gets called back. But Luke Villela, who was battling with leg cramps all evening, skirts into the end zone. And we'll see if they uphold it.
This is an Oceanside touchdown. I would not be surprised that we either see Villela maybe take a series off or maybe go to be a one-way player. You know, these, like I said, these cramps, they have to be addressed, and they just aren't going to go away all in one night.
Looks like it's going to be a hold.
Yeah, but it's downfield, so we still got some. It's going to be 10 yards from the spot. Big thing is, let's see if this is a first down.
Well, it was 2nd and 8.
So many rules changes now, and one of the most recent rules changes is in the area of holding. And when there's a holding behind the line of scrimmage, they no longer mark it from the spot. They mark it from the line of scrimmage. So you don't end up with 1st and 23 anymore.
Right. You a fan of the rule?
I am. I'm a fan of the rule. You know what? And John, even though, you know, sometimes the rules changes, we always complain and cry, and we're taking the toughness out of the game, especially the safety rules. Anything we can do to make this game safer, so more and more kids can enjoy it and be healthy, the better.
Kyle Schur out of the Wildcat with a seam. Oh, what a burst of speed. Kyle Schur does it again. From 35 yards out, Schur's got the hat trick.
Wow, look at that zone blocking. All 7 of those guys, including the tight end. We get Dotto gets himself in there, all 170 pounds of him. Beautiful, beautiful play.
And that's good enough for our Speed Island speedy play of the game. And we'll take another look at that after the field goal. But Sailor Nation is loving it. And the team of Harmon, Villela, and Pender, 6 for 6. Let's take another look at Kyle Schur and the day that he's been having. That's good enough for our Speed Island speedy play of the game. Visit Onyx Salva and the gang located in Garden City. And book your session today at speedislandny.com. He ran so fast he turned the lights out.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Why is he so dangerous right now? Because he's having fun. He's absolutely having fun right now. You know, John, if you're Massapequa, what do you do right now? And, you know, in my experience, this is a time as a coach where you're saying to the kids, let's stop the drama, let's pull ourselves together, and let's just be great one play at a time. And we'll find out what happens at the end. And I don't doubt that the Massapequa kids right now are going to answer that call.
There is Onyx Salva right there, and heck of a track star in his day over at Malvern. He's a great guy overall and a great ambassador for the game. And he always knows where the camera is, too, so I don't know why he's playing coy.
Well, if I looked like that, I'd find a camera as well.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going to stay hiding up here in the press box.
Find the camera, I'd find the bronzer. All of it. And he keeps the glasses to be professorial. 18 seconds to go, short kick. And Massapequa jumps on it. Kenny Jean is there.
Yeah, beautiful recovery. You know what? That's not an easy play. Not an easy play at all, especially when it's closer to the sideline. You want to let it roll out, but they're getting closer and closer. You just got to make something happen. And you know what? That's what Massapequa's doing right now. People are making some decisions. You saw that from Kenny Jean. Now they need to calm down, go one play at a time.
And so Rob Blount's going to get a unsportsmanlike. He's not been happy with the officials all evening.
It's hard. It's hard for us as coaches. You know, we're in our minds, we're spending 9 months getting ready for this moment. And sometimes I'll speak for myself, we have a tendency to look at our officials and saying, hey, bud, you just rolled out of bed this morning, and this is your big moment. You haven't done what I've done. But it's not true. The officials in Nassau County and Long Island, they do an outstanding job. They work at their craft. And for these guys out there, and I'll speak for Chris Atchison, he might be the best official I know in football. It's extremely important to him to be great. He's officiating this game like it's the Super Bowl.
Could be one of the final plays of the third quarter. On the run, Pedolino gets halfway home, and that does it. 3 quarters in the books. It's been an Oceanside rout. The quarter for the 309. 12 minutes away from their first win of the year on the Varsity Media Sports Network. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Inside the 10 to the end zone.
Oh, he's got a wide open receiver. AJ Duff.
Get out of the way! Dante.
Start of the fourth quarter, and there's a play over the middle to Frank Romano, the senior, and now moving into Oceanside territory. He's Kevin Dolan. I'm John Perez. 42-17. The score for Oceanside.
And that's what I'm talking about, John. You know, take the drama out of this. The score is what it is. Great play by Massapequa. Big gain. Now let's get another one. Now keep on plugging away.
Here's Joey Diesso. Tough night at the office, but slings it down the field. Incomplete. Tried to throw it in the direction of Cole Villalta, but he was double-teamed by Chase Spear and Kyle Short.
I think now you asked me earlier, what is the Oceanside defense thinking about right now? I think that's changed from early in the third quarter where they were daring them to throw. I think their attitude right now is, let's not us give up any big plays. Get these Massapequa guys fired up. Take care of that Let's let them use the clock. At this kind of a lead, that's not hurting them.
No, and you're right. And as good as Villalta's been, they'll let them run till the cows come home with this lead.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
DSO rolling out. Villalta used as a blocker this time, and a nice catch to stay in bounds. As that was Andrew Pedalino. He's quietly had a good game.
Yes, he has. You know what? And he's done the quiet things about, you talk about the Massapequa run game, about blocking downfield. There, what discipline. Keep those toes inside. Beautiful catch. Take your time. It's this play now.
Working with some technical difficulties. A minute gone by, fourth quarter. 42-17 the score for Oceanside. DSO keeps it himself. Like he shot out of a cannon, and a big pickup of 8.
What a third quarter for Oceanside. But I will say, John, I'm proud of these Massapequa kids right now. This game, the ending, it may be in the bag. It may be in the bag right now, and it probably is. But they're not giving up. And not only are they not giving up, they're growing up. Very, very proud of them. They should be proud of themselves. It's hard to do that after a tough loss, but hopefully they realize that later on down the road.
And you want to build that momentum, especially next week against Freeport, and a new era for the Red Devils as well, with Russ Sellen retiring. Joey DSO swims out of the pocket, and he's going to be short. Set up 3rd and 1.
Saw Coach Sellen the other day at a joined practice with Floral Park. 2 very, very good football teams from the Sewanaka district, led by Ronnie Pickett and of course Mike Stanley. And Russ is helping out at carry. He looks great. And he's just loving life, and he's coaching as an assistant. What a great assistant to have.
One of the legends in Long Island football history. DSO into the flat. Here's Tyler Villalta. We haven't seen passes thrown in the direction of Villalta, but using his speed to gallop towards the red zone and get a first down.
Beautiful play. Stretch the field. Put it in the hands of one of your better offensive players. Stop the clock. Very, very smart.
And the timer stopped at 9:29. And so here's DSO. And a whistle. And a timeout taken by Oceanside.
Great timeout. You don't, if you're Oceanside, if you Coach Blount, one of the big thing right now is you don't want to get any of you guys hurt. You don't want them to get hurt. You want to get a few kids on the field. The other thing you want to do is you want to manage this game.
100%. Well, here's Oceanside, established 1820. We mentioned this is the 100th year. How about this? Average class size, 15 students per class, which is pretty good. If you are a football trivia fan, who is the quarterback that replaced Dan Marino?
Is it Jay Fiedler?
Jay Fiedler.
Jay Fiedler. There we go.
Uncle Bob, of course, at the Mothership, Disney, and then Art Heyman. How about that? Duke legend back in the day, and
I'll tell you, I've met Jay a number of times. He very, very generous to the kids of Nassau County and Section 8 football. And you know what? It's a really humble, really, really nice guy. Talks to anybody. He'll talk football. He'll talk family. Just a wonderful, wonderful guy.
And we had a chance to see him at the Elite 5 showcase that Pat Godfrey and the rest About You do every year in Brooklyn. And he was one of their coaches one year, and he gets pretty fiery. And he gets on his quarterbacks. It was fun to watch. Here's DSO, flushed out of the pocket, on the run, incomplete. Tried to sneak it into Kenny Jean, but good pressure coming from Jack Romaldi and Luke Villella in the backfield.
And that's it's a great job by Joey. Joey's actions right there, keeping that play alive, trying to make something out. That's on the field leadership. That's why he's in that spot. Again, John, I said it earlier. this is one game. Tuesday, nobody's going to remember this because everybody's getting ready for next week. It's just one game.
DSO on a slant, incomplete. Fired it past the outstretched glove of Cole Villalta.
Great look by there, and you know, I think Oceanside actually got caught by surprise over there in the apex. Just didn't work out for Massapequa on that play.
8:59 to play in regulation. It's been all Oceanside. Still plenty of time for Massapequa. They've got to score quickly. Not exactly the prevent defense here, but only 3 up front for Oceanside.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, you know.
There's Villalta in the hole, trudging forward, and Villalta's got another one.
Beautiful play. Beautiful play. Beautiful zone blocking. It's been a great night for him. It's hard for him. It's hard for him for Tyler to appreciate it, but he's had a great night, and you just know he's going to have a great season along with this offensive line. Look at those kids moving in unison. Great pickup by number 62. That's Tristan Tarasi. Heck of a job. Hey, John, the big difference. Kids don't appreciate this, and I get it. The big difference, though, in the learning aspect of this game, you lose this game 41-31 instead of 42-31 instead of 42-17. It shows heart, it shows pride, and it's something to build on. That's the stuff you build on. Putting another page in the playbook, that doesn't help. You got enough pages in the playbook.
All right, well, let's see if you got a lot of pages in the trivia book as well. It's time for our Name That Alum segment. So we're giving it away. It's from Massapequa already, but there's your clues. So he's funny like a clown. Airplane peanuts. You have a guess there.
You know, you got to be an old person to answer this question.
I guess I'm old then.
Oh, man. The kids don't get it. Do you want the answer?
Well, let's see. Are we ready for the answer? There it is.
There we go.
How about that, Jerry's yearbook photo? You had the same hairstyle, right?
Close to it. I'm one of 7. I'm near the bottom. All my other brothers and sisters are very old. They had that look, even the girls, you know.
I know. I have pictures. Well, my dad's got pictures that I think he keeps away from me, but yeah, similar hairstyle there as well.
All my brothers and sisters, proud graduates of the great Elmont Memorial High School.
Strong kick goes into the back of the end zone. That was Jaden Balone. Back to return for Oceanside, who takes over with 8:47 to go in the 4th.
All right, let's do it on defense now. Let's do it on defense, turn this into a football game. You know, I'm not rooting for either of these teams, John. You know, I love to watch kids redeem themselves. You know, it's part of life. Part of life.
Villalta's got 3 TDs today, and now looking to make a stop on defense, but Oceanside's going to remember this game.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Kyle Shore game, what he's been able to do out of the Wildcat, and then, of course, defensively.
And that big touchdown catch, he's had a great night. I don't know if Coach Blount gives out game balls, but I have a feeling one may be going his way tonight.
And they've had a number of contributors. Obviously, the offensive line has been great. Andrew Dado,
yes,
offensively, number 12. It's funny because for Dado, he sets him up. He'll have the big run, but doesn't get into the end zone. So he's not going to be rewarded with the TDs, even though he's played worthy of a scorer.
Yeah, you know, these linemen like Karakaker and Grimaldi and all the rest of the boys, they've done a really outstanding job. They should be proud of themselves.
Dado moves forward. Malenko and Benushi with the tackle.
It's been a very physical game. And, you know, these kids, you're seeing cramping going on. It's a lot of physicality out there. These guys are going to need a day or two to rehydrate, take some time off, get in the pool,
thing is they'll play next Friday.
Yeah, and you know what? A full practice on Monday. They play next Friday. In my opinion, you take these 2 days off. The coaches will work one of these 2 days. And those 4 days will be plenty.
Below, the handoff to Dato. And Dato a gain of 1.
When I was a younger coach, both as an assistant and as a head coach, and I think it was just the culture at the time of coaching, we beat up teams in practice. You beat up your own product constantly. Coaches today, the last 15 years of my career, we're much more careful with how we're beating up the kids, you know, and really concentrating more on technique and, you know, their overall fitness, keeping them healthy, spending more time on film.
I think like that's one of the biggest differentiators from playing in your day as to playing now, just the groundswell of information and different perspectives that are out there to keep these players as healthy as possible. And, you know, not diminishing any error or not, but could you imagine what players of your era could have done with the information that we have today?
Yeah. You know, I was a head coach. I was a coach for 36 years. I was a head coach for 26 of those years. And the last 10 years, I meet a lot of young coaches. I don't even know what they're talking about. You know, they're talking football with me, and I'm like, can you translate that into English? They live on the internet. They live on social media. They're just very, very knowledgeable, very, very creative. It's great. It's the development of the game. It's hard to believe in the world of the spread and the RPOs and everything else. Is there any place else for us to go?
Right.
And I can't imagine it. But then again, my idea of creativity is drinking Gatorade instead of water. So, you know, we'll see.
Electrolytes.
Yeah, a lot of electrolytes. Could use some Gatorade down there tonight with these boys.
There's a timeout taken by Oceanside, and, you know, did you hear Marcus Freeman, the head coach for Notre Dame, saying he scouts opponents on Madden? Or not Madden, college football?
Yes. Yep.
Be fun to do in any era. I think that's the coolest thing about these college athletes now is that they get to be in video games.
Yeah.
Pender to punt it away, and this will take an Oceanside bounce. And it'll be downed at the 40-yard line on a 36-yard punt.
Okay, 6 minutes to go. Let's see what Massapequa's got in the tank. I think they've got a lot left in there. I know when their pride tank is completely full. Now we got to get a little bit more. We got to buck up some energy now and finish this game off the right way.
Only got 6:44 to do so.
Yep. You know, and again, you know, I've been talking about leadership and the kids on the field. In terms of Coach Shippos, what Massapequa was doing right now, redeeming themselves, does not happen by accident. It's the example of Coach Shippos and his staff in driving these kids forward.
How about the next generation? There's Jax
There we
Blount.
go.
I think one of 5 Blounts.
The Blount crew. He looks like he's ready to get out there right now.
I asked Blount last year how he is a successful football coach, and he's got 5 kids at home. He goes, it's all my wife.
Yeah.
There's Joey DSO. Good run for DSO across midfield to the 40. And Sachet is out of bounds.
You know, John, I was lucky enough last year to be named Jets Coach of the Week, one of the weeks. And they invited us to a game, and they were doing a little interview on the side. And a woman asked me, what's the secret of your success? I go, I married the right woman.
Yeah.
I married the right woman. She supported my coaching efforts. She supported what we were doing. And it's been my partner my whole life.
Now, does she do color commentary, too? Because I know you've got some conflicts coming up as DSO slides forward.
She does a lot of commentary. You might be at the receiving end of a little bit of it towards the end of the month. Boy, DSO here, he's really stepping up now. Well, he's been stepping up all night, but he's taking charge right now. He's making a decision.
DSO drops.
Beautiful lob.
Lobs it. Great ball. Touchdown. Massapequa.
Andrew Pedalino from 32 yards out. Not exactly shutting the door. And Joey Dimes with a connection.
Beautiful pass, beautiful catch and concentration. And you know, I keep repeating myself here, John, but it's worthy of repeating. You know, in 36 years of teaching, I've been watching a lot of kids when things get hard, they give up. They give up. They're looking for help. They're looking for the next week. These guys are not giving up. They're hanging in there. They're showing pride in themselves. Mustangs for life.
Extra point goes through, so makes it 42-31. And now this is where I'm going to ask you to put your coaching hat on.
Oh.
You thinking onside kick here? Are you trusting your defense to boot it away, if you boot it away?
I think you got to kick this deep, personally, and I think you've got to see what is Coach Blount willing to do. Is Coach Blount willing to try to bleed this clock? It's a lot of time. 6 minutes is a lot of time. Is he willing to bleed this clock, or is he going to call some big plays? Problem with the big plays, though, stops the clock.
Right.
So I think Massapequa should take this deep. A little early for onside kicking, not at an 11-point game.
$11-point game. Pequa's got all 3 of their timeouts.
And the hard part, as you see here with the formation that Oceanside's putting out, they can't guess at what Massapequa's going to do. So they have to set up. This is kind of what's called a soft hands team. It's ready for an onside kick, but they're kind of ready for a deep kick.
No, you're right. You've got Tveter, Bender, and Schur all at the front of the line with Andrew Dato back to receive.
I'd be surprised if we see an onside kick.
Oh, it is shorter.
Okay. All right, so it's kind of a little bit of a compromise.
And then Oceanside able to pounce on top of it.
Not a bad idea. And again, that's a tough play for those returners from Oceanside. I don't know who secured that ball, but that's a difficult ball to secure.
That was Nick Carentz.
Great job by Nick. Okay, let's see what the attitude is at Oceanside. What is their attitude towards this game? 5:56. Do we push the chains? Do we bleed the clock? Do we go for all the glory?
This has been on first down. Chase Morris. And big second contact there by Tristan Tarasi. My point being for Oceanside, this has been a game that they've had circled on their calendar since their semifinal loss last year. Put in a lot of work in the offseason. I was talking to Mike Vanucci in the offseason, who works with a lot of the wide receivers, said that the team will get better as the season goes along, which every coach hopes to do. I don't think there's been any coach out there that has had a bad offseason or bad recruiting class or didn't have a positive weight room experience. But he said the one thing that stood out to him was that how committed his wide receivers are to blocking for their run packages.
Yeah.
And said that the chemistry was really built there as Andrew Dato spun down by Cole Villalta.
You know, there's a lot to the craft of being a wide receiver. Obviously, technique and catching the ball and knowing your routes and being able to adjust your routes in real time. Blocking downfield, it's extremely hard to do. And the great teams are able to do it. And they have to work on that in the offseason. And that's not sexy work. That's boring, tough work. Another interesting observation on this Oceanside team, both Dato and Chase, they're not real big kids. They're in that 150, 160-pound range. Tough runners.
Here is Dato powering forward on 3rd and short. He's not going to get it. Any forward progress.
You got to hand it to Dato. He takes a beating. He pops right up every time. What a tough kid. Chase Morris, same thing.
Timeout is taken by Massapequa with 4:04 to go in the fourth.
Well, this is the big question, John. Bigger than the onside kick. Does Oceanside punt, or do they go for this? You go for this and you get this first down. It's you may be shutting down this game. What do you think?
Well, we'll see what they do. I'm glad I don't make those decisions. But if you are deciding to have Varsity Media cover your game, book a SportsCast today and have us produce a SportsCast for your team, including announcers, graphics, instant replay, and multiple camera angles, a memory your team will enjoy for a lifetime. Contact 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Here Kevin Dolan comes with a premium package. All right, so 4:04 to go. Good timeout there by Massapequa.
It's actually a very tough timeout huddle by Oceanside because Massapequa can't see what's going on in there. And there comes out your punter.
Well, remember they had a fake earlier.
Yeah, I think we'll see a punt here.
Villalta goes back to receive. And Pender takes an Oceanside bounce and then is downed at the 25-yard line. 33-yard punt, and here comes that Massapequa offense. How big is that field goal for Busqueta early on? That made it 17-7 because now you're down 11, a touchdown. You can either go for 2 or the 7, but keeps you in the game.
Yeah, and you know what? And to that point, Massapequa not being able to score that touchdown and having to settle for the field goal changes his game as well.
See the punt again, and
yeah, very nice punt. Very nice punt, great bounce.
On first down, DSO fires a strike over to Frank Romano, quickly goes out of bounds after the gain of 4.
Boy, Frank's a quiet player. Frank does really big things for Massapequa tonight. I don't know if he's a quiet player. He's been a little quiet tonight, but if you watch his film, all of a sudden he's picking up a lot of catches, makes a lot of blocks. He's a very active participant out there.
6 foot, 170. Kevin Shippo says that he's the #1 receiver, and you're right, is that quiet leader, but it is the hard count that jumps Oceanside offside.
And you know what? That's something that Coach Blount's going to work on throughout the week. That kind of training starts with your scout team, going on 2 more and 3 more. Usually an exclamation point is put onto it with some sprints at the end of practice. The kids will get the message, and they know. The Sailors know that you can't win a county championship getting penalties, and they'll make that adjustment, I'm quite sure.
.347 to go in regulation. Massapequa trails by 11. Gene, the man in motion. DSO airs it out. Romano again. Not that time. Massapequa taking a shot, but running out of real estate.
And a great shot. First down shot, 1st and 5. Actually, I'm sorry, 1st and 10. And why not? Why not? In some sense, John, it's not even simply about tightening up the score. It's about things you've got to work on that you're going to need next week.
DSO fires a strike, and he's got a man. Cole Villalta. Big play on the post route. Pickup of 12. Inching closer to midfield.
There you go. Hustle up to the ball. Beautiful time. Great protection. And what a strike. Beautiful strike right there. And Oceanside is keeping everything in front of them.
And timeout taken by Oceanside. And we'll take it with them as well. 3:29 to go in the fourth. Sailors lead by 11 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Did you just have the best athletic year of your life? And now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to 9 left in the fourth. Massapequa making a run. It's 1st and 10 from the 48. DSO steps up and then slides after picking up 3.
Very smart by Tyler. Very, very smart. Get that ball set. Let's call another play. There's no need to rush, to be honest with you. You want to run good offensive plays.
DSO flings it. And the catch made by Cole Villalta. And he scurries out of bounds. Here comes that 2-minute offense. We practice every week.
Oh, yeah.
.308 to go. High snap. DSO steps up. And he replicates the same play, and he's got Villalta.
It's interesting, John. I can't believe there's 3:02 left in this game. It's plenty of time. And what you're not seeing on the Massapequa sideline, you're not seeing a lot of histrionics by the coaches, kids losing their cool. They're playing football.
2nd and 2. DSO lobs it. Far side. And some bumping, but no flag. Incomplete.
Good coverage. Very good coverage by Oceanside. Kid had great position on the ball. And a nice shot by Massapequa. Why not? You know, it's 2-down territory, obviously, here. Everything's 2-down territory at this point in the game. Do want to get this first down right now, though, and I would not count out a run play. Clock's going to stop momentarily with the moving of the chains if they get the first down. Maybe a quarter, maybe one of those quick draws. Give the ball to Kenny Jean.
Jean goes in motion. Fake the handoff that way. Diesel's got a first down and slides out in front of the 25-yard line.
Clock is stopped, 2:50. They're moving the chains. Massapequa can get a good play in. Everybody gets set up.
DSO,
oh boy.
Near side. Big ball, touchdown! Frank Romano. It was only a matter of time, and here come the Chiefs. 26-yard dart.
Were we just talking about Frank a little earlier? I'll tell you what a play by that kid. He ain't quiet on this play. No quiet Frank there. And a beautiful, beautiful pass.
And let's see if Massapequa goes for 2. Currently 42-37. Because you either go for 2 or you have to score another touchdown.
Yeah, I think they have to go for 2. You know what? When I say things like that, John, obviously Coach Shippos knows more about his team and what's going on the sideline than I do. But mathematically, that makes sense.
They've got their receivers out there. Massapequa's going to go for 2. Villalta goes in motion. DSO. Pressured. And then fires. Catch. And the 2-point conversion is good. Cole Villalta hauls in his 3rd catch of the drive. And that makes it a 3-point game.
Perez, we're playing Section 8 football right now. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'd like to say that I called it this whole quarter. Very cool and collected. It's a lot easier up here than it was when I was on the sideline.
You know, it's pretty easy when you've got a veteran like Joey Diesso, too, who is able to flush out a tough first half. And now trying to lead the comeback.
Something about great quarterbacks that make coaches look real good. All right, now I think we're talking about an onside kick, possibly. Possibly, or you may see that blooper that we saw earlier. I wish I knew how many timeouts Massapequa had. I believe it's 2.
.236 to play. We know Busquetta's got a boot. But Rob Blount sending out the hands team. That's Villela, Jack Regan, Chase Morris, and Dylan Bender up front for the Sailors. Short kick. And Oceanside gets on top of it. And so a big catch on a rolling football by Oceanside and good field position for the Sailors.
Who made that play? Is that number 11?
Looked like Shane Harmon in there.
What a play. What a play. You know, every victory has a million different heroes, and he was a hero at that moment. He took a beating, too. That was a heavy collision right there. Not easy to do. You know, John, many of those, sometimes those hands team players are also kids who may not have gotten on the field all game. Now you're going on the field after 2 hours, and you need to make the biggest play of the game.
It's all about buying in and trying to be that unit as one.
A lot of credit to Harmon.
Imagine we're going to see a heavy dosage of running. Here's Andrew Dado. And Dado piling forward. Close to that first down marker. A pickup of 9.
That play hurt. That play hurt.
Well, Massapequa's got 1 timeout remaining. Looking for their defense to make 1 more play.
All right, interesting. They're going to make Massapequa use these timeouts.
1:48 and rolling. The handoff, Dado. Nowhere to go. Anthony Danello. And they'll say he was down as the ball's on the carpet. And a timeout taken by Massapequa. 1:42 to go. And should be 3rd and 3. Also, as we go into the huddle, once again, keep that coaching cap on for Rob Blount. You're drawing up here.
Oh, boy. You know what? I don't think you have a choice but to run the ball. Run some of that power football that we saw earlier. And you're going to do one of 2 things. You're either going to move the chains or you're going to force Massapequa to use their last timeout. Now you're in 4th down. You still have a choice to go for it. You're in their territory. I got to get to run the ball. They got to run the ball. I see them taking it over to the left side. See if they can find a crease in there. Nice thing about having running backs as tough as these 2 boys, who are a little on the smaller side, they're not that easy to get a surface on when you're trying to tackle them, especially in tight spaces.
Does Massapequa's defense have 1 more play in them? .142 to go in regulation. The handoff. Dado, first down. Andrew Dado trying to put the finishing touches on the defending champs. As Oceanside will move the chains and keep that clock running.
Big play. They capped a great game. What a great game this was. Incredible game. These kids on both sides of the ball have everything to be proud of tonight. Outstanding. I'm fired up. I wish I was coaching some of these guys.
Great effort on both sides, and now victory formation for Oceanside as Villela takes a knee.
Nice job by Villela, too. Sometimes, when you do victory out of shotgun, sometimes you have a tendency to try to be a little too cute and hold on to the ball a little longer and let more time go. And that's smart. Get the ball, take a knee, secure it. You want to come out of this game healthy.
If you thought Conference 1 was going to be easy and a cakewalk, you're mistaken.
Mark my words, John. These two teams are going to be, I think they're going to be doing it again a couple of weeks from now.
And for the first time since 2022, Oceanside has some revenge. A Week 0 victory over the defending champs, 42-39 in a thriller, as the Sailors, in their first week of school, will leave with smiles on their faces going into the weekend.
And they should. I mean, these guys, they have everything to be proud of. Really played a great game. And they came out of the half. They came out of third quarter blind. They didn't know how this was going to roll. Very, very good job by them. And again, I've been saying it all second half. Kudos to Massapequa, showing courage and fortitude. Great job by both coaching staffs.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up here. Oceanside knocks off Massapequa on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Inside the 10 to the end zone.
Oh, he's got a wide open receiver. AJ Duff.
Get out of the way! Dante Torres!
End zone. Touchdown.
10-5 touchdown.
High school sports fans, are you following Varsity Media on our YouTube channel? For the best coverage of New York high school sport, head to youtube.com/varsitymedia. 3 easy steps. First, hit that like button, and then be sure to subscribe. And finally, tap that yellow bell to be notified of all of our upcoming sportscasts. Thank you for following Varsity Media on YouTube.
Hey, Pam. The 309 is buzzing. A big W for Oceanside in Week 0 over the defending Long Island champion, Massapequa Chiefs, 42-39 in a thriller. Oceanside led 42-17. They bent but did not break, and a big reason for that is because Kyle Shore was eating today. He's our hungry man of the game, brought to you by J. Paul's Terrace Cafe. Whether it's a pregame meal or a postgame snack, reserve your table at jpaulsoceanside.com. And the moving images for Mr. Shore on Week 0.
Kyle, John, I shared with you right before our last break that when Oceanside came out in the third quarter, they didn't know how this was going to go down. And what every team needs, that's needs something to happen, you need a hero. And Kyle Shore was that hero tonight. He did an outstanding job on both sides of the ball, and he was there for his friends. He did a heck of a job for the kids, and my hats are off to him. He's the hungry man.
You see the touchdown, a pick 6, and boy was he eating, and so was the rest of Oceanside. Well, that'll do it for our entire crew, and what a game it was. And if that's going to be any indication of Section 8 football this year, you're going to want to lock in, because Varsity Media will have your coverage the entire year. Games big and small. Every game is the big game on Varsity Media. So for our entire crew, led by our rookie, Kevin Dolan, in there as well, Ben Turchin, the executive producer, Chris Sweeney and Becca Kazaks behind the ones and twos. Tony DeMasso, Ron Pierre, and Kevin Catalanato behind the camera. For my partner, Kevin Dolan, this is John Perez saying so long from Oceanside High School. This has been a presentation of Section 8 football on your home for New York High School Sports, the Varsity Media Sports Network.